All right, welcome to session 53. And so previously, you had embarked on the expedition to Lumev with the goal to return to Delsara City and explore the military HQ in the military district in order to find out more about the Lumev weapon. You returned to the stone pillars, going deep into the facility, and eventually found a Shadowkind in some sort of long-term sleep, but still alive. You retrieve the person, a woman. She is still with the group, or at least with the wagon, but you are unable to wake her by medical or magical means. You discovered a new location that has been opened in the crater facility transportation system, though the crystal is blinking for some reason. The new location appears to be the upper left location on the wall map. When reaching Dulsara City, you found that something has agitated the machines. You dealt with a horde of spider automata and giant war machines that you had never seen before. You finally reached the military HQ. You figured out how to disable the military security systems, at least most of them. You spoke to the caretaker, an AI running the facility. You found access control and enabled access to the control center, where you were told to go and open up hub access. You explored the control center and opened up hub access and eventually figured out how to open up the weapon storage A, machine storage A, weapon research, and other areas on floor 2. Ire and Galen began to act strange and unresponsive, so you left them with the caretaker. Now, Galen, for you, you were walking with the group,
hmm
and as they were trying to access the control center and do various other things, then suddenly you were somewhere else. You in this place, you look back to see a forest of sorts with large trees, though they are not trees as you know them. They are more like giant green and brown stalks without branches or leaves. Further behind you, you can see that they become dark and thick. You shudder.
hmm
Around you are craggy hills, broken and cracked. You stand atop one of those hills and finally turn forward. Beyond the hills is a black, glassy plain that stretches as far as you can see. In the distance, miles and miles away, you see something massive floating above a patch of gray, like an island on a glass sea. Then you wake up, standing next to an unresponsive Ire, but the rest of the group is nowhere to be seen.
Hmm.
And as you look over to Ire, you can see his head twitch every once in a while, and you will hear a soft mechanical voice saying things such as, "But we have to report the crash. The crash. There's been a crash. We have to report the crash. We're all doomed. Just be quiet. We're all doomed." And such things such as that. So what are you gonna do? Let me go ahead and take you to the map.
Yeah. Okay, so do I remember anything about how I got here? I think I remember you said I just kind of
Yeah, you're following the group.
just
Then all
walking
of a
and then
sudden you are in this different place,
uh-huh.
and then you wake up standing in next to the caretaker, next to Ire, with the rest of the
Uh,
party completely out of sight.
uh, okay. Hi, caretaker.
Hello.
Um, do you know where my friends went? I thought I was just with them.
I believe they took the hub access, and perhaps they are looking at the weapon research on floor 2.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'm not sure. My sensors up there are malfunctioning and have been for quite some time, so I am unaware of their exact location.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna investigate Ire a little bit now too. I'll ask him like, how long has Ire been here and like this?
He has been here like this for several minutes. My sense of time is inaccurate for some reason, but at least for several minutes.
Okay. Um, I'll like wave my hand in front of his face, like,
Nothing
hello.
happens. He seems completely out of it. His head
Okay.
movements seem to be completely unrelated to whatever's going on around him.
Weird. Okay.
But you do recognize the voices as because you've heard them before last time you were in
Mhm.
Delsar City, and you recognize them as being the voices in his head from the crashes.
Yeah, I remember. I remember he got kind of possessed. Okay. Weird. I guess I'll start going to. He said they were in Hub. No, they were in by weapon research, right? Okay.
Just so you know, you do have that map. You still have
Yeah,
access
I
to.
pulled it up. I pulled it up. I'm trying to. Looks like I take area D to weapon storage A and then move across.
And as far as everybody else goes, just to make things clear, basically from where you are, we're going back in time some amount of time. So just go ahead and if you can see your tokens, just leave them still. If you can't see them, well, that would be because we're following Galen at the moment. All right, Galen,
Okay,
what do you do?
I think given this map, and he said that they were over by weapon
One
research.
thing you noticed as you enter that was not true before is that this door up here was locked and now it's
Yeah,
open.
that's probably where they went then.
And
Huh.
as you approach, you
Yeah, what's
see
up with this?
two doors. Looks like they've been pried open. And beyond the two doors, it's not represented here on the map, but beyond the two doors, you see what looks like a metallic room.
Huh.
It's round, and you see that it has doors that are meant to, or at least a doorway, and you can see spots where sliding doors would be, but the doors
Hmm.
themselves seem to be missing.
Okay. So that would be these two right
Yeah,
here.
so basically inside of here, there's a metal room. It's just not represented on the map.
Okay, I'll step
Okay, you
inside
enter
then.
the metal room, and on one side you see a whole bunch of buttons.
Hmm.
Tens of buttons.
Okay.
However, only two of them are lit up. Um, there's one that's lit up, and
Hmm.
the one that's lit up is at the bottom, and then there's another button at above that that looks like it has some power. So one's they're glowing different colors, and you get the impression that the one at the bottom is where you are now, and the one on
Interesting.
top can be pushed.
Interesting. Is there any writing that I could read on any of them, or is there nothing
Um,
there?
there is. Go ahead and give me a. I guess it'd be a
Guess
history check.
it's normally a history, yeah.
While you're doing that, I should bring up the map. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So you got it. So 1 second. I'm just gonna bring up something real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Lumav. There's what I'm looking for. Just to make my life a little easier. Anyway, so one of the buttons is one, and that appears to be the one you're on, and
Hmm.
one of the buttons is two.
Oh, well, let's push two and hope I don't die or something scary.
Okay, so you press two, and the whole you can feel the whole room slowly starts moving up. You
Oh
hear
God.
some scraping, and it looks like some tension.
Ooh.
But after maybe 30 seconds, you hear a thud, and it stops, and you can see more doors that look like they've been pried open, and then you see a bunch of flashing red lights, and I'm going to go ahead and move you to that.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure I'm. Oh, I did not switch you. Sorry about that. There you go. Here you go. So yeah, as you step out, you can you see a large room, a circular room. You can see several of those weapons that are on the walls.
Hmm.
You can see some sort of panel, and you notice that the weapons twitch every once in a while. Another thing you
Huh.
notice is that the doors to the right appear to be opened, and you can um, you can faintly hear the sounds of battle.
Oh, well, I guess if there's a battle going on, I don't really have time to read any of this. I can
So,
also kind of see up here. Let's, I think I'll just be, oh, what is that?
are you talking about this?
No, I see a
Oh
thing.
no, yeah, you see other doors open, and you see blue light coming from that direction, but
Uh-huh.
you don't hear anything from that direction.
Okay. So this skeleton that I see, I'm not supposed to see, or is that even a
Okay, so
skeleton?
what you wind up seeing as you come across, you see the group seems to be finishing off these strange tentacle-like creatures, and you
Huh.
see that above the tentacle-like creatures, there's these giant bugs. They look like metallic wasps. And
Oh,
you see,
jeez.
and you can see Ragu smashing a couple of those wasps as you show up, and it appears that they have just finished dispatching a bunch of enemies.
Oh,
And
cool.
here you can see that there's some chairs, and you can
Hmm.
see that somebody has really done a lot of damage to the center where you see this graphic. That's
Hmm.
not there anymore. What you see is broken chairs, blast marks, things smashed as if somebody really wanted to destroy whatever was there.
Wow, that is crazy. All right, I'll make my way over then. Hello?
So as you make your way over, you can see that they are kind of going around a corner.
Yeah.
And you can see Ragu kind of approaching a room, and he's just kind of opened it up, and at this point in time, the rest of you finished with your combat. You've come around the corner, and Ragu is kind of opening up the room, and suddenly you see Galen walking around, acting all normal. So what do you do?
Hey guys, what's up?
Shut the door. Shut the door.
Yeah, he had already opened it.
But nothing reacted
Okay,
like it
yeah.
was
In that
just a one
case, you
second up, right?
see Pico firing at something that you can't see. So I'm going to go ahead and put you over here because you can't see yet.
Oh, okay, deal.
And I am
Yeah.
actually going to have everybody roll initiative.
All right.
And
I
then once you
believe
roll initiative, we'll
Pico's.
handle you shooting.
Oh,
Just so you know, I can't
Um,
see anything on the map at all. Oh, there it is. Now I can.
Okay.
Funny timing
okay.
there. I was searching for ages. I was like, I cannot find where this is happening at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I centered everybody.
It's okay.
I don't think my thing went through. I'll just roll
It
it again.
looks like it did. Let me double check. Oh, I don't see you on here. You're right. Yeah, go ahead and re-roll. Whatever.
It's not much better. In fact, it's
It happened
exactly
this
the
time. It's the exact
same.
same numbers, so apparently you're
Perfect.
destined to have an initiative value of 2.
Yeah, you know what? So you win some, you lose some.
All right, so before we begin, Pico, you see this large form automata that seems to be, you can see these tentacles kind of growing into it, and you can see one of the arms twitching as you fire off your prepared bolts. So go ahead and do that. And while you do that, this isn't showing, so I got to fix that.
All right, so I'm going to
Oh,
roll
and
on my misleading cat claws here.
yeah, I was gonna
23, I
say
think that hits.
That's a hit.
just for shock and awe value, Galen, you see Pico pushing what looks like a desk chair with a funny looking box on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so you could, and there's this wire that is going down the hall, leading back the way you came, and
Like an
yeah,
extension.
you see this metallic chair, and you see what looks like one of the wall turrets attached to the chair and firing this beam of energy.
Oh, crazy.
And that as that beam of energy fires off, it does 32 points of damage.
Oh my God.
All right, so now we will. we will begin initiative. So this is round one. So Devok, you see, Pico, you haven't moved yet.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh. Oh. Yeah. I was being treated as a ready to action,
yeah. So
right?
go ahead. Yeah,
Sorry.
there you go.
Yeah.
You can't move until your turn. Anyway, Devok, you saw Pico fire the beam of energy at this large form automata that seems to be controlled. So what do you do? Can you
In
see?
front of Ragu.
Yeah. So this guy over here.
Yeah, I'll step forward a bit and then shoot it with my Eldritch Blast, and then I'll have my skeleton also shoot it.
Okay. All right. So remember that. And Eldritch Blast, that's fine. Lightning Thunder, okay.
Two.
All right, so the 18 barely hits. You can see the 8 just hits the armor and just kind of deflects off. And it takes 2 points. And the skeleton, you see the skeleton come down, and we'll see what's his range. His range is. Oh, he's got plenty of range. Okay, so yeah, he shoots. But the arrow he shoots hits the automata and bounces off the armor. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, Ragu, you now know that the automata's AC is 18. So what are you going to do? And the automata I'm representing as this token here, but it's kind of like this whole object here.
Okay, it's a big thing. When you take an attack action on your turn, can a cantrip count as an attack action, or do I need to melee attack?
If you use an Oh no, an attack action I believe is a melee attack. Let me double check.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it is. I'm just not 100% sure.
Yeah, I have a combat thingy here.
Yeah,
Okay,
to
so
look it up.
actions, attack. Here we go. Melee or ranged attack is what it says.
Okay, so that's not a spell. Cantrips count as different.
Yeah, so yeah, melee or ranged attack like a crossbow or throwing something or what have you.
Okay. Well, if it's a melee or ranged, in that case, I'm going to try this and hope it works. I am going to throw a fire cylinder. Here.
Okay.
To hit both of
And
these
what's
guys.
what's the range on that? Is it
It's a thrown cylinder. It's
No,
a
I
hand
meant
grenade.
the area of effect. I don't remember what I said.
10 feet.
Okay, so in
Oh,
that
yeah, it's
case,
10
you're
feet.
just hitting the hex. So yeah, just go ahead and roll what you would normally use for a throwing weapon. All right. DC 15 Dex. Excellent. And go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Now, that counts as an attack, so I can go ahead and do my superiority dice and.
Yeah, but
and
let's go ahead and roll damage first. There you go.
Righty.
See if they even make that. And on a failed save, the target is knocked back. I take half damage. Okay, that's what I was looking for. They both look like they made the save, so they don't get knocked back, but they still take some damage. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I am going to roll my d8, and don't add this yet. My d8 is a 7, and as I attack, I spend my superiority die point to call out, Pico, fire again!
All right. I go ahead and fire the office chair of doom.
Okay.
see. Fingers crossed here. Oh.
As you fire, it's a glancing blow, and despite the power of the beam, you can see it just reflects off the surface of the automata. All right, is that the end of your turn, Ragu?
That is.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
He's just gone.
Yes, I said that is.
Oh,
Can you hear
okay,
me
I
now?
didn't hear you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I said that is the end of my turn.
All right, so you notice the controlled automaton kind of rips itself from the harness that it was attached to, and you can still see these tendrils still kind of inside, and you can see them kind of wiggling, and it lumbers forward, and yeah, that's fine. And as it does so, you can see its large arms kind of reach out and actually smash ahead of it, much further ahead than you would expect, having a range of 10 feet. And you can see that it attempts to smash Ragu with two of those attacks. Ragu is able to dodge out of the way of both of those attacks, although the 22 was a close call. And then you see its face kind of turn your direction, where you see this tube where its mouth should be, and it fires a beam of energy, which hits the floor, but you can kind of see the sizzle as it hits. And from the side, you can hear more machinery cracking and breaking as yet another one of these monstrosities lumbers forward, attacking Ragu as the closest target. The 24 would hit, so does it hit Ragu?
I'm gonna burn my reaction to arcane deflection.
Okay, so the 24, it seems to slide out of the way instead of smashing Ragu. And then it fires a beam of energy almost at the exact same spot in the floor. You hear this buzzing noise as a number of metallic insects seems to swarm forward and swarming into Ragu's area. And you see them all landing on his skin and his arms, attempting to bite him. But fortunately for Ragu, they seem unable to pierce his skin. Pico, you see the two large form automata that seem to be controlled by this virus and a swarm of the metallic insects attacking Ragu. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go ahead and fire on controlled automata 1. Not that the odds are great of that, but nothing ventured. Nothing. Hey, I missed.
It hits the side and bounces, hitting somewhere else in the room. And as it does so, you hear a pop. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, I go ahead and back around the corner. Galen, the swarms are resistant to blades and stuff.
Okay, cool. I don't use blades and stuff, so I should be all right. But thank you.
All right, Galen, you've heard the large machines lumbering forward. You hear what sounds like a swarm of insects attacking Ragu, and you've seen Pico trying to shoot one of those beings, and it just bouncing off the surface. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move down 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had good luck with zapping these things, so I think that's what I'm gonna try and do.
Okay, so yeah, they're
Actually,
swarming Ragu.
right.
So the way it
Yeah.
works is if you hit high enough AC to hit the insects, great. If you hit high enough to hit Ragu, well, then that happens too.
Okay.
And that's fine, dude. Take
For
the chance.
reference, Ragu, how can you move your token just temporarily so I can see how hurt you look?
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, I'll see if I can get you in a little bit. I think we should
Okay,
start by
you do.
zapping these things, though.
Okay, go
Yeah,
for it.
you do have a little time, so go ahead and zap them first. I'm feeling angry.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
That hits everybody. Go ahead and roll
It
damage.
does. I'm
But
impressed.
Double it for the swarm. It's just regular for Ragu.
yeah. Hey, so Ragu,
Mhm.
hate to be the bearer of bad news. Since you are getting hit by this, you no longer have a reaction.
I figured.
So yeah, basically you go forward, you see this electric burst come out of Galen, and it seems to arc between all of these metallic insects and Ragu at the same time. You can see
Sorry.
And that
that
was a good hit too.
the
Go ahead.
swarm
Sorry.
has been hit pretty hard, although there's still more than half of it left. Is that the end of your turn?
Jeez, this thing is tough.
Did that do
Let
double
me.
damage, or was that or the lightning was regular?
It was double damage against the swarm.
Okay.
1 second. Let me check something really quickly. Um, I'm going to use the last 2 of my healing light d6s to heal Ragu on a bonus action.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so that is actually 8, because that 1 becomes a 2. But I'll give you 8 quick hit points to try and make up some of the damage I did, and then run away with Pico.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that is the end of my turn.
Fair enough.
No,
1,
we're all
2,
good, Galen.
3, 4. Let me see how
Cool.
much movement these things have. 8. Okay. 5. You notice the insect swarm kind of swarming around Ragu. And so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And almost like it knows who attacked the other swarm. It passes by Devok and then swarms Galen.
Wow.
So with a 21, Galen, the insects start. You could feel them landing on your skin. Some of them flying by, and then you can see them biting into your skin, doing 10 points of
Ow.
piercing damage. And some of them appear to be trying to burrow inside.
Ew. Oh God.
So at the
Okay.
beginning of round 2, um, Galen is now swarmed as is Ragu. So Devok, what are you gonna do?
I would in opportunity of attack range. Like if I move, will I be attacked?
Yeah. Unless you
Then I
take a
suppose I'll
disengage.
stab it.
A disengage.
But that takes an action, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I suppose I'll stab it then.
Okay.
Please don't stab
So
me.
as you go and you
Huh?
stab at the just so you know as you stab at the swarm, slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning they're resistant to. So you would do half damage if you hit.
Yeah, I guess I'll just disengage then, actually.
Okay.
You could
Um,
just Eldritch Blast me if you wanted, and I could heal myself, but I
I'll
don't
pass
know.
on that. I'm gonna
Alright.
disengage and move this way, so I'm not in the
Okay.
in range.
And so your skeleton is going to do the last thing you told it to do, which is to shoot at one of the large form automata. So it'll do that now.
Sounds good.
With that 6, though, it does not succeed. It doesn't. The arrow is not even close. Is that the end of your turn, Devok?
Yes.
Cool. All right, Ragu, you are being swarmed, and both of the large forms automata are bearing down on you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to step forward and attack Automata 1.
Okay, go for it.
Um,
And as everybody else saw, if you're being swarmed, you're not restrained or grappled, so you can actually step out of that hex. Um, After that point, the normal rules apply as far as opportunity attacks, but you don't get an attack just because you step out of the hex, or you don't get attacked just because you step out of the hex.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead, Ragu.
Okay, I'm going to swing hard at Automata 1.
Okay, it the first one bounces off, but the second one actually cuts in.
Okay, and I will do damage.
Yeah, let me check to see. Nope, they are not resistant. So yeah, you do the full damage.
Okay, it's a magic sword anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, just resistant to all sorts of cutting. Okay, and
Oh wait, the large format automatar.
It's not resistant. That's what
Oh,
he did full
okay,
damage.
sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
It does have resistances,
then
but not to cutting or piercing or bludgeoning. Anyway, Ragu, is that the end of your turn?
My bonus action will be the
Which hit
knuckle punch
for another 9
for
points of
another
damage.
9 on the Automata 1.
All right, is
will
that the
be
end?
it for me. Yeah.
All right. So Automata 1 is going to continue to smash.
Now, because they have long range, are they at a disadvantage to hit me now, or do their
Not with their
effect?
smashes, but they would be at a disadvantage with their beams, because that's
Okay.
a ranged attack. The smashes are basically, it'd be like wielding a spear, where it's a longer range melee attack. So the 23 does hit you,
Yes, I
unless
don't have
you're
a
going to do
reaction
anything.
to blow. Yeah.
Oops.
Nope.
Sorry.
No reaction this time.
No reaction.
Oh no,
All
no,
right.
no. You're fine. Yeah, no reaction.
So he
I'm good.
smashes into you for 24 bludgeoning damage, nearly knocking you off your feet. And then, with
These guys are
disadvantage,
hard.
he attempts to fire his beam of energy at you, but is unable to connect. Then the second large farm automata follows suit. Normal. And you're able to dodge the first attack. The second attack is a glancing blow on your armor, and then he fires a beam of energy at you, which doesn't even get anywhere close. The metallic insects, they are going to swarm you here, and I believe that because you're in melee with other creatures, I don't know. Does that give you advantage? Swarm advantage. Well, we won't worry about it for now. I'll look it up later. So we're not going to give him advantage for that. So it'll just be a normal attack. With a 24, though, that does hit. And you can feel them crawling all over you, biting into you for 13 piercing damage. One of them died boring into your arm. Pico, you can definitely hear the smashes, the grunt from Ragu, probably a something about stupid insects. What are you gonna do?
Damn it. So, and just to verify, the insect swarm 2 is in the same hex as Galen,
That's
who's
correct.
next to me, right?
And the insect swarm 2 is in Galen's hex. Insect swarm 1 is in Ragu's hex.
All right. Well, so if I were to try to attack the swarm adjacent, or that swarming Galen with my knife claws, what would happen?
You would, you would just roll to hit, and if you hit high enough AC to hit the swarm, you do damage. If you hit high enough AC to hit Galen, you do damage.
Now, the other question then is that I want to use Booming Blade and essentially target the swarms with it.
I believe that would just target the swarm. I think that's a one target kind of thing.
How do I want to do this?
Now, Galen's AC is 17, and the Swarm's is 16. So it is possible if you hit the Swarm and not Galen, although the odds are fairly small.
Wait, wouldn't that be the other way around? Or wait, Galen's a
Yeah,
17?
Galen's is 17, the Swarm's is 16.
Ah, damn it. Okay, well, let me look and see what we've got going on here. Shit. Maybe I'll do this a little differently.
And as you look down toward Ragu, you can see that he's almost dead.
All right, change of plans, I guess. Ah. All right, shoot. And Galen, how does he look?
Galen's at has more than half his health.
I'm a little busted up, but I'm doing all right.
All right, fine. I'll go ahead and I'll target the insect swarm.
Which one?
The one swarming Galen.
Okay.
Gonna try and do booming blade. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna regret
Actually,
this.
could you, if all you're doing this turn is attacking, maybe you could hold your action until I leave that exact square so that I don't get hit?
You could do that. You can only attack or move in that if you do that, but that is viable.
If you're doing other things, then don't worry about it. I'll just eat it. But if you're just attacking,
Yeah.
just a thought.
Well, it is just an attack, but if I do that, then I can't cast booming blade, which means
Okay.
that um,
Actually, that would be good because the insects have to swarm or move in order to attack. So if you booming blade and hit, then when they move to get back into Galen's hex or your hex, then they'll kaboom again.
That's what he's saying.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, now for what it's worth, if the booming blade component only hits the enemy I'm targeting, then the claws are a fairly modest attack. The booming blade is actually the majority of this planned hit. Yeah, let's just try it and see what happens.
All right.
Yep.
Go for it.
All right, so, okay, rolling a booming blade attack. 17, okay, that hit.
And yeah, it hits. That part hits the Swarm and Galen, so go ahead and roll damage.
All right, so I guess 7 for Galen,
So
and
you
then
feel a couple of these insects get smashed across you as his claw kind of scrapes against the insects as well as your side, Galen, for 7 points.
the insects, I guess, get half of that. But then for the booming blade component, the insects get another 2,
Okay.
which should be full damage because that's force
Yep.
damage.
Okay, that's full damage.
And I'm going to go ahead and wheel away 2, and I'm going to yell at Galen, back out of range of that swarm. Or just take a step away, I mean.
Take a step. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Galen, what are you going to do?
So I don't want to take a disengage. Let me look at
Any of the adjacent hexes to you are valid then.
Yes. 1 second. I need to double check something. Okay. Sorry. What I think I'm gonna try and do.
You could, as an example, you could step out, do your lightning melee attack, and then continue to move.
Yeah, no, actually, so what I was thinking of is Ragu looks really hurt, and I
I'll
want
be
to.
fine.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, I want them to get the swarm off of you
I mean,
because
you are
it's a
pretty
pain.
busted, man.
Oh, watch. I
Oh,
got
okay.
playa.
I won't heal then. But for future reference, Jeremy, since Cure Wounds is a touch spell, I have what is it? Extended spell? Here, I'll put it in the thing. Oh, that's the duration. Never mind. I thought it was range.
Okay.
I'm completely wrong.
Well, fair
Okay, so
enough.
that wouldn't have worked anyways. Yeah, all right. If you're fine, then I'm just gonna back up.
Okay,
I'm gonna
I'll go ahead and
lightning.
move them into your hex. Okay.
I'm gonna hit him with lightning.
All right, go for it.
Zap.
Well, that hits
I'm really good at zapping things.
for 18 damage. So now it doesn't have his reaction, so if you want, you can continue to move right past him.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I could go over
Yeah, that
to
was my
Ragu.
suggestion, is to step out, zap
Yeah.
him just in case it doesn't work, and then if it does, move to wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I think I will pull up. I can't really see the hexes. Is this giving him
So where do you want to be? Do you want to be adjacent to Ragu?
Yeah, I think I do.
All right, so there you go.
Would I be giving him any form of assistance or flanking on the swarm or no, because it's sharing his hex?
I would say yes, because the swarm has to deal with you as well as him, so I would give you advantage.
Cool.
Hey, that works.
Is that
That's
at the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right. All right. So now this swarm, it's going to move. So Pico, what happens when it moves?
Boom. Takes 12 points of force damage.
Cool. Alrighty. So it's going to decide which way to go. So I'm gonna make. I'm actually gonna roll because I'm not sure what it wants to do.
Uh-oh.
All right. It's going to move up and swarm you, Pico. The dice have spoken. And with the 25, that is a solid hit. So they swarm around you, biting your skin and trying to bore into you for 17 points of damage.
Ouch.
And now we begin round 3. Devak, you can see that the swarm it's supposed to be in Pico's space. I just moved it out so you can see its health. Actually, or at least I can see its health. And you can see Galen has gone into battle to the south. So what are you going to do?
First, so if I move here, I'll get opportunity attack, right?
Move where?
Just like before.
So
Like
basically, if
if
you're
I
more than 1 hex away from Pico's position.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, if I'm more than 1 hex away from his position,
sorry.
then I get attacked?
If you're not, if you move, if you're not adjacent to Pico. Sorry about that.
Okay. Then I will move up here,
Yeah, that's fine.
and then I'll shoot it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so 21 is good enough to hit. It is also good enough to hit Pico, so everybody takes 10 points of damage.
Oh. Sorry.
It's all right.
Is that the end of your turn?
My skeleton has to shoot still.
Yeah, I've already subtracted the damage. You shot.
No, my skeleton.
Oh, your skeleton. Okay, good point. Thank you.
Shooting the other thing, not the swarm. I don't want to hit
Right.
Pico again.
Unfortunately, the skeleton hits the corner over here. He's having a bad day. All right, Ragu, you are basically surrounded. What are you going to do?
All right. I'm going to go a bit backwards. I'm going to try my bonus action first.
Okay.
I just kind of laugh a little and say, you two are very tough, eh? Let's even the odds a bit. And I reach into my side pouch, and I pull out the Lumev orb and activate it.
So you pulled out what?
The healing orb.
okay.
from Lumev.
Healing orb.
Fair enough. You activate it,
All right.
and you're healed.
1 second. Boom.
So
Now,
that
with my
is
full attacks-
now out of commission for 24 hours, I believe. But you are healed. So what are you going to do next?
It's 24 hours or 3 spell slots.
Okay.
but now I'm going to swing away hard.
Okay, I'm assuming you're swinging at the one that's already damaged.
Yes.
All right, that's a hit. 14.
14. My second swing.
You hit again.
Oh, hey, I'm hitting with both.
Yeah,
Another 13.
Yeah, you're doing good. And
And
that's
that
it.
was my bonus action. Yep. That was
Okay.
my bonus action in 2 attacks.
Yep.
Galen, you could hit the swarm on advantage now, so you're good to go, and don't worry about hitting me.
Awesome. That healing stone was very nice.
Alrighty, I guess if you're the tank, it's good to have backup. All right, the
Yeah.
first automata attempts to smash into you, confused as to why you look so healthy all of a sudden.
Just a shiny gleam.
He should
on
not
my
have
metal skin.
disadvantage. So that first hit is a 26. The second hit, however, is a miss. I believe the 26 will hit.
Deflection, it'd be a spell slot. I'm gonna have to take it.
Okay, so he smashes into you for 25 damage. Ignore the second part because it's not advantage or anything. So it's just 25 damage. And then he's going to fire the beam at you with disadvantage, which is a 19, which completely misses you. So it's just the 25 damage so far. And then the second controlled automata is going to smash into you. And the 21's not good enough to hit. Although you notice that his head kind of, as he's smashing into you, his head tilts up just slightly and fires the beam at Galen. He still has disadvantage because he's in melee. However, an 18 is good enough to hit Galen.
Yep. That
So Galen,
hurts.
this beam of energy strikes you for 21 points of damage, and you have to make a DC 14 con save.
Okay, 1 second. Alright.
So
Nice.
you
I'm
make your
alright.
Constitution save, barely avoiding, or not barely, but avoiding becoming stunned from the heat and power of the blast. Then the swarm, still attacking Ragu, attempts to bite. With a 20, though, they can't get through Ragu's tough skin.
Okay.
All right, Pico, you are now swarmed. What are you going to do?
Apologies, Devok, if this goes wrong, but I'm going to see how fast these things can move. Bonus action. I click on my boots of speed. I am doing a booming blade attack against the swarm,
Okay,
which hits.
cool.
So 4 points plus 6, so 10 points total.
Fair enough. They took it.
All right, and let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably have to make an acrobatics check for this, I assume. 7, 8. Or is that enough that I can just run over it?
I think that's been smashed enough that you could probably just run over it.
Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's probably rough terrain still, though, so it took 2 hexes to get over it.
That's fine. All right. Shoot. Actually make that 12. And then, I don't know, 13. Not as good a view as I'd like. All right, I'll stop here.
Okay, given how fast you moved, I'm assuming that the beam weapon is still on the chair over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that'll do it.
All right. Galen, you've just been shot with this beam of energy that hurts you quite a lot. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that did hurt. Yeah, you seem to mostly have this handled. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna zap the insect swarm. Or
Okay.
wait, no, you're inside of it.
Yep.
No, that's fine. Go ahead and zap away, man.
We sure?
We're good.
Alright. Alright. Zap away, he
You
said.
hit the swarm, but not Ragu.
Let's go. Okay. Oh, there
For
we go.
28 points of damage.
Yeah, I'd be doing that. And you have fun with that 1, 2, 3.
You see a swarm just flying there. It looks like Pico's long gone.
Okay, well if Pico did what I think Pico did, then I think putting myself here would be smart because I might get attack of opportunity if they are mad enough to chase him.
Fair enough. Pico, go ahead and roll your damage for Booming Blade.
Well, whopping 2.
Yeah, it's still something. And it swarms right over to Bach.
No.
Let's see, how much health does it have? It's less than half. Okay. And with the 25, Devok, you can feel them biting into you. It's
Wait,
only.
wait, hold on. I should have done this before. God
Oh,
damn it.
sorry. Go ahead.
Phase? Can I phase?
Okay, so you're
I
generally
meant to
supposed to
say
do
this
that
is what we got.
before I roll, but I'll go ahead and let you have it one more time. So what does that give you? Disadvantage.
And
Okay, so let me roll.
you, when they start attacking, can you pause for a second so I have time to like bring it up
Sure.
before you roll?
Anyway,
Okay.
that 15 is not enough to hit you, so you are successful.
Cool.
You are still swarmed, though. They're still flying around you. So it's beginning of round 4. You can see these insects flying around you. You can move out of their hex if you want. So what are you going to do?
I will move out of the hex. Opportunity attack, though, if I do?
If you move out, if you're no longer adjacent. So if you move, say, to here, you're fine. If you move further, then you might be in trouble.
Disengage?
You can disengage, yes.
Behind my skeleton. Then I have my skeleton shoot what I was shooting at before.
Okay. If you
think
have
I'm-
any bonus... Oh, crit.
I must have missed when this guy came around. What
So...
Yeah, I got 2 of them. We found corpses and we took them. One
Awesome.
died.
I can roleplay that out with you after this fight. That'll be
Yeah, you'll
fun.
probably notice the distinct shadow kind nature of the skeleton.
Oh
Well,
god.
to be fair, the fight started pretty much as soon as you showed up, so you
Yeah, so I
haven't had
didn't
time
have
to react
time.
yet.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, your skeleton actually hit the controlled automata for 10 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn,
Nice.
Devok?
Yeah.
All right, Ragu. They're still pounding and biting at you. What are you going to do?
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and bonus action hex and swing hard.
Okay. So bonus action hex, you said?
Yes.
All right.
Hex is
I'm
a
gonna put
bonus
a
action to
marker. I'm
cast.
assuming on the automata.
Automata 1 at the
Okay,
moment, yes.
great. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
Or I mean, your attack.
Okay, that's 1 spell slot. And then core. Yeah, there we are. Here it isn't.
Okay, that's a hit.
Okay, and whammo.
12 points of
12
damage.
points. And then my second swing. Come on.
Also a hit
Ooh.
for 14.
Yeah.
And that's the end of your turn, correct?
That was bonus action and then action.
All right, cool. All right, automata 1. He's hexed. Does that mean he has disadvantage on you?
He has. Just a second. Sorry.
I think that's just a disadvantage on ability checks for a chosen attribute.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the attribute?
Strength.
Okay, so in that case, does those ability checks include attacks that use the attribute, or just ability, or just checks?
I'm trying to bring the spell up, but it's not letting me do it somehow.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Do do do. You deal an extra 1d6 damage. Disadvantage on ability checks made a chosen ability. It does not specifically say attack, so I'm not sure if it would affect attacks. 5e ability check attack. Uh,
They're not.
okay, fair enough.
Okay.
So in that case, it'll just roll like normal. All right. I just wanted to double check first.
Oh yeah, I know, no problem.
Well, it doesn't matter because it can't hit you. It may not actually have disadvantage, but it sure is acting like it does. And then it does have disadvantage, however, on the beam with a 22. So it probably sears off just a little piece of armor, a little scratch, but you can't. Doesn't actually do any damage.
Okay.
And the second one is going to attempt to smash into you. He just should not have disadvantage, so that second hit is actually a 27. So the 18 misses, the 27 hits, and he smashes into you for 17 points of damage. Don't know
Okay.
what that extra 11 is for. All right, and then he is going to fire his beam of energy with disadvantage with a 23, so that's also a hit. So you take.
I would like to deflect that.
Okay,
That's
you
so
deflect
much
that.
damage.
Yeah, it's an arcane
That's
deflection. That's a
so
free action.
much.
So only 17 damage.
Oh
Jesus
my god.
Christ.
All right, and then the insect swarm is going to attempt to bite you,
There's more.
but fails. All right, Pico, you are far away now. What is your plan?
All right, well, let me head back over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You can see the swarm is where Devok was.
But not anymore, huh?
Devok's not there now.
12. All right. Well, I guess from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to attack with the military HQ map. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and try attacking with. Yeah, I'll just go Booming Blade again.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are unable to connect.
All right, and then. Okay, well, that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and 2, 3, back up a bit.
All right.
And that's my turn.
Cool. All right, Galen, you can see Devok ran to the south. You can hear Ragu still getting attacked. There's a swarm all by itself nearby. So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna yell out first, you okay in there, Ragu?
Could
Okay.
use a little help on my back, but I want you guys okay too.
All right, so what do you do?
Okay, he needs some help. Let me... Did you Booming Blade this, Pico? I don't remember, I'm
I
sorry.
tried to, but I failed.
Okay, then I'll see if I can clean it up first while there's nobody on it. I'm gonna go ahead and Shocking Grasp.
Okay.
Oh man.
Which they neatly avoid.
Do we know what their AC is? Have
It's
I attacked
16.
them enough? Then yeah, I'll just let it slide. Well, no, I have to because I have to run away. I'm gonna use Favored by the Gods really quickly to to
Okay.
roll, what is it, two 2d4s, I think?
Yep, 2d4.
2d4s, please. I need this hit to go through so I can keep running.
Okay. It works.
Yeah!
Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 32 damage, which is
Yeah.
not enough to destroy it.
Of
But I'm
course.
going to move it over so you can see it's really
Oh my
close.
god. That's so annoying. There's like two of them flying around really mad. I'm gonna keep running though, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, Ragu. Hopefully I don't get
Well,
shot again.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I think this is where I'll end my turn.
Okay. All right, Metallic Swarm 2 is going to move down. It's going to look around, and it's going to swarm the skeleton. Uh, 11. I think the skeleton actually has 13. So, yep, it's swarming the skeleton, but it does not seem to be able to do any damage to it. All right, beginning of round 5. Devok, your skeleton is swarmed. What are you going to do?
Back. I guess I can't really back up. I'll shoot the one that's further away from me that isn't quite in melee range.
You're talking about the one between Galen and Ragu?
The one with tiny health directly in front of
Oh,
me.
they're on your skeleton's hex. I just move it away so you can see its health. They're swarming your
Oh,
skeleton,
okay.
so they're right in front of you.
Never mind. Take back those rolls then.
Okay.
Damn.
You could step your
It's
skeleton out
so low
first.
health. I guess I'll just stab it. What'd you say, Dave?
You can step your skeleton out first, or are you too close?
If you want to use your bonus action to give your skeleton a command, you can do so. What's your command?
But if he steps out, then he gets attacked by both of them and probably instantly dies.
Not if he stays in
only
range.
takes one step.
He can go
Yeah.
like to here or here or
I guess.
whatever.
Yeah, I guess I'll tell him to move there. Sure. Where you
Okay.
just pointed up. Yeah, or that works too.
All right.
Um.
So that
Then
that's
I
your
guess I'll just
skeleton's
stab
action,
that.
but or actually he can still attack. So in your order, did you tell him to continue attacking or just to move?
I told him to continue attacking, but
Okay.
I'm gonna try and stab this swarm.
All right, go for it. You hit.
For
Now
4.
you only do half damage, but
That's
that's
fine.
still enough to finish it off.
Cool. Perfect.
And then your skeleton is going to shoot the same automaton it's been shooting at. Unfortunately, it does not hit. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Ragu, you see another arrow fly by and hit somewhere in the room. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna haul off on this automaton one. I'm tired of both of you. One at a time, please. I know you both want my autograph, but not now.
Okay.
So swing away, and a miss.
It's you smash into the armor, but it's just not enough. That's enough, though.
That is enough. It's gonna be a big old.
So 13, 21, it looks like. All right. Big hit. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm gonna follow up with Pearlscent Knuckles.
Okay.
Just, punch to the face.
Yeah, and you hit. For 11 damage, which is exactly enough. So as you punch this large automata, you can see that the tendrils they suddenly stop moving, and the whole thing just falls to the ground. Is that the end of your turn?
Bonus actions. Yeah, that's it for me.
But the other automata is continues to attempt to smash you into pieces.
Yep.
Why do I keep having that? All right, so that's a 24 and a 12. The 24 hits, is that correct?
I'm going to arcane deflection that.
Okay.
That's my reaction.
And like before, when Galen was around, he is going to fire the beam at Galen. With a
Now,
20.
doesn't he have to
Man, no.
doesn't he have
Oh,
to
he has
roll
to.
that at
He
disadvantage?
does.
Because
He
I'm
does.
literally right
He
Oh,
next
does.
to him.
thank God. Oh my God.
So it's a
Oh
miss.
yeah.
Have them some extremes.
I was about to get
I
evaporated.
was going to ask that the last
Yeah,
time
no
you used the
kidding.
beam against Galen, but I forgot
Okay.
to say something in time.
I think I actually did roll at disadvantage last time. It was like a 20 something and an 18. But this time I
Oh,
forgot.
okay.
Alrighty, and the swarm continues to bite Ragu.
Yeah.
What's its health? It's less than half. Okay.
I know
And
that
it
would be
fails
fun.
to make any headway against your metallic skin. All right, Pico, you heard something heavy smash into the ground. What are you gonna do?
Okay. Let's see. All right. Now, using a bonus action to click off Boots of Speed, I'm going to go ahead and move forward to 6. Grab my Office Chair of Doom, move over 1. I see the. How bad does that controlled automata look?
The
Oh, he's fresh.
automata's in good shape.
The
All right,
insect
well-
swarm, you'll have advantage to hit.
Yeah, but who's it swarming?
Ragu.
Me.
All right. Wait, why is there advantage?
Because Galen's right there.
There's an advantage against the swarm, he's saying. This swarm.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't quite understand why, but
Because
'Cause-
it's like flanking.
Yeah,
Only
Galen
he's
and Ragu
occupying
are on
his
both
space.
sides, so it has more to worry about, kind of thing.
and it's swarming Ragu.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, I'll take a chance. I'll fire on it with the Office Chair of Doom.
Okay.
Advantage, kitty claws. All right, that works.
Sure did. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right, slash R 8d8, 32 points.
And you evaporate them.
All right.
Unfortunately, you're now swarmed because you stepped right into the swarm.
Wait, who?
The other swarm died. That's his
Oh
skeleton.
no, I'm sorry. You're on skeleton. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I would have been firing Eldritch Blast from a distance if that swarm were still there. All right, well, this being the case, I think I will hold position here.
Okay, the skeleton's there, so if you can't,
Oh, yeah,
go ahead
sorry.
and move it to one of the adjacent hexes.
I'll back up. I kind of wanted to keep an eye on things, but if I do that, I'm probably asking for trouble.
Yep. All right, Galen. The swarm that was right in front of you just got vaporized, somehow missing Ragu. What are you gonna do?
Neat. Let's see if these automata like lightning as much as the previous ones. A quick zappy.
Okay.
Fuck.
You hit
Wonderful.
for
Nice.
28 damage.
Seems like they don't like it. And then since he likes to shoot me with lasers, I'm gonna go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, he can still see me. 7.
All right. Cool.
Alright.
All right. The beginning of round 6. Navak, you can see that the swarms are all dead, and there's a single controlled automata left. What are you gonna do?
I step into range, and then I shoot it with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. The 19 hits, the 15 misses. All right, for 8
Okay.
points.
8 damage, and then my skeleton shoots it.
All right, let me see. Shoot the short bow, which unfortunately does not hit. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Ragu, the automata just took a blast to the head from an Eldritch Blast. What are you going to do?
All right. I'm going to step here simply so that I'm not in the way, and then I'm going to swing hard.
All right. The
Hard.
first attack is ineffective, but the second one hits. Or it looks like 18 damage.
And then a big punch. Oh,
Definitely not effective. You just hit
Whoa.
this metal surface, and it just dings and does nothing else.
arg.
Is that the end of your turn?
That is. I'm saving my reaction.
All right. So this thing is going to smash into you as usual. I have it on normal. The 28 hits. The 23 might hit. Does the 23 hit?
Yeah, the 23 is gonna have to hit because there's no point in wasting the spell, and that 28 I can't stop.
All right, so that is 39 damage plus 19, so that's 48, 58 damage.
58. Okay.
And then he's firing his beam at you with disadvantage, which misses. So just 58 damage.
Okay. That's
All right, Pico, you heard that smashing noise, and you can hear like metal bending, the ground cracking. What are you gonna do?
Let's see.
As you round the corner, you see that Ragu is almost dead. Clearly smashed into the ground by this automata.
Shoot, unfortunately, I don't know what I can do that would actually be able to offset that crap. 1,
Blast
2,
away.
3, 4, 5,
Don't know.
6. Shoot, Devok, can you get your skeleton to flank that automata?
I guess so. Yeah.
All right. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim at the automata, and I'm going to fire on controlled automata 2 as soon as skeleton 2 gets into flanking position.
Okay. All right, Galen, what are you gonna do?
Well,
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's fine. Never mind.
you sure you're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. I will come down 1, 2. Yeah, Ragu is gone. Okay, you don't have another charge on that orb, do you?
No, but I've got some potions. As soon as I can, I will
Um,
drink one.
do you do that before the automata? You do. Okay. I don't know if I trust that.
Dumb idea, Galen. Do you still have that wand of fireballs?
Yeah.
Shoot the orb of healing.
Yep.
So,
do
so
it.
what you're telling me to do is to shoot a fireball at my nearly dead friend because that will heal him?
No, I'm
No, what
telling
he's
you to
telling you
shoot
to
the wand
do
of
is
fireball at the thing in his hand.
Oh,
what he's telling you to
boy.
do is shoot 3 levels of spells worth of magic into the magic absorbing object.
Aha! This makes more sense. All right, then that is exactly what I do. I take out the wand of fireball. Let me see how many charges it has left this week. On the fireball. Okay, yeah, I have 1 use after this remaining, so I fire into the orb.
Okay, you see a ball of fire flies at Ragu and the automata, and suddenly gets sucked into this orb, which is now glowing. Is that the end of your turn?
Nice. I think that uses a full action.
You can
So
still move or use a
yes,
bonus
but
action if you have it.
Yes, but I'm going to run away so that I don't get hit by a horrifying beam.
Fair enough. Okay, we're now at the beginning of round 7. Davak, what are you going to do?
And Galen, if you're worried about that, be glad you weren't at Red Carpentry.
I'll
Yeah.
shoot the thing again
Both of those
Was
hit.
he told about red carpentry?
for less damage than the one before.
Dang.
And then your skeleton continues to shoot.
And you wanted me
it
to.
flies in
No, there was.
and just flies right past it. Go ahead.
He was supposed to be given a command to have the skeleton go into flanking position.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's supposed to.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In that case, ignore that roll. It would use a short sword or whatever equivalent you guys set up for it, and that does hit for 6 piercing.
And with him in flanking position, I am going to go ahead and fire the weapon as previously stated.
Okay.
Whew, and I needed the advantage that time.
Apparently.
Okay, so slash R.
33.
Definitely very stable damage on this thing.
All right, Ragu. The automata is now flanked. You are almost dead, and your orb is charged. What are you going to do?
Bonus action orb. Whoop.
Okay.
And for my next act, I will swing away with advantage.
All right. Well,
And I
you
hit
both
hard.
times. All right, so it's 26, 26, 39, and 47. Okay, it's dead. You finish it off.
Oh, those boys hit hard.
It
Yeah,
slams into the ground as the tendrils stop moving, and we leave combat. And as combat ends, Galen, it suddenly hits you as the adrenaline is draining that that skeleton, it looks a lot like a shadow kind. In fact, the tatters of its clothing remind you remarkably of the uniforms that you found in this place.
Huh. That's wild.
Huh.
Look, Devok, did you heal that shadow kind?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh, where did you find
I actually healed two
where did
of
you
them.
find that?
The other one died again.
What happened? The other one
I healed
was
two of
lost?
them, but the other one died. Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'll fix that later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's
we can fix
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Devok, if
Yeah.
this one goes down, then you could go ahead and do your patented 2-for-1 healing.
Did you find him in any specific spot, working anything or doing anything? How did you find it?
They were in a. What was in the room other than them? I remember the room. I don't remember what was in the room.
I remember, was it kind of like a locker room sort of thing? We can actually go back and look. It's not that far away.
Okay,
Yeah.
because while I cannot heal those that Devok can in the same way, I can speak with them. So I'm wondering if it might be worth our time if I had a chat about this facility and maybe about the weapon. If they worked on the weapon, that would be more useful. Obviously, if they're just some random person, that would be less useful. So why don't we check out the work area a little more, or if you guys remember.
Lead the way, Pico.
All right. Well, wheeling my office chair of doom. Oh, wait a minute. Actually,
Oh,
let's have a
actually,
quick look
on the
in here.
way, have I used my
Yeah.
healer's kit on you guys today? I don't remember if we had passed a day yet.
I do not
It's
think
know.
we've
still
been
the
in one
28th,
day.
and it has been for a while. So I'm gonna guess probably, but I don't remember for sure.
Okay, I
I'll
think I
see if
used
I
it on.
mentioned it in my notes.
I'm pretty sure if it's the same day, I definitely used it on Devok. I definitely used it on Ragu. I think I may have used it on Pico, and I doubt I used it on myself, but it's possible. Um,
So yeah, I
because we
don't
might
think you
want to.
used it on yourself. So if you wanted to take the time to do that, you can do so.
Yeah,
As far as the
I'll.
rest of it, we'll just wait for uh, see what Pico has to say.
Yeah, for sure. Because we can always take like a quick little 5-minute rest for some
Well,
hit dice.
you said definitely you've used it on Devok.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think I remember specifically using it on Devok.
I say I can help out too. Here you go, Devok, and I hand you a potion.
Thank you. How much is the potion heal?
2d4 plus 2.
I get healed for that too.
No, the bottom one is for me, I'm sorry.
How dare
Okay, I've got one more here for who's going to be needing it the most.
All right. So as you enter the room, Ragu and Pico, you can still see the bits of the tendrils throughout. It looks like it's basically infested the various weapons in this room. You see these large, strange metallic shapes. They look like they have at the center, it looks like some sort of long tube, but there's a bunch of other plates to it, and you get the sense that these are massive weapons. Unfortunately, you also get the sense that they have been partially deconstructed. You see various other tubes and beams and these strange mechanical contraptions. You see these large tubes that look like they're on some sort of swivel so they can turn. Um, you see the large form automata that are now laying on the ground. You see weapon chairs. You see a panel, although the surface is covered with static. You see a couple of boxes and weapon chairs. Unfortunately, a lot of the weapons themselves seem to have been partially deconstructed, and probably by the virus. So what do you do?
Um, First, I recall that earlier in the day, Galen had used his healing kit on me, but does not appear to have used it on anybody else.
Oh, perfect. Cool, cool. Devok, you want to grab another quick heal, or are you doing all right?
Yes, please. I would like a
Then that's what you're getting. 1 second. Okay, so
Okay.
6 plus your hit dice.
6 or 1.
6. Well, it becomes a 2, and then I add 4 from the healer trait, and then you add your maximum hit dice to it on top of that. It's a really good trait. That's why I stay
Yeah.
stocked on so many healers kits.
There we go. Now I'm at max. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, and actually, even though I said I stayed stocked, I'm actually down to my last one. We've been using this a lot.
All right. Okay, so Ragu, what are you doing?
Um, I am. Hold on a second, pull that out. Well, just to start off with, you said this right here. It looks like it's farthest away from any infection. That tube on a swivel. Is it? Does that one look reasonable condition, or does it look like it has been eaten as
So yeah,
well?
what it looks like, you can see these kind of stripes through it, where it looks like the metal is smooth and it bends inward, and then there's parts of it where the edges are jaggy. So it looks like it from a distance it looks to be in good shape, but you can tell that it's been partially consumed.
Actually, Galen, could you do me a favor? There's some concern about regeneration on these things, and Shocking Grasp is a cantrip, right?
Yeah, totally.
Could you go through and clear up some of these insect swarms and maybe even these large automaton, just make sure they stay down?
Sure, yeah, I'll go through the room just kind of zapping willy-nilly.
Okay, yeah, so
Even
you do see some tendrils here and there that are more or less still, but as you watch, you can see them. You see them twitch every once in a while, and if you watch long enough, it looks like they're getting bigger and longer again. And you can see little tiny objects, if you look really close, moving around them, and as they seem to be growing back. So I'm taking it then you're trying to obliterate these things.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
please.
these orange root-like things, we have to go through and wipe them all out because they regenerate the big things.
All right, yeah,
Right.
destroy that shit.
Okay, so
Pico.
was investigating this thing. Um, Galen is basically destroying the remnants of the tendrils. What are you doing, Pico?
I'm gonna go ahead and so it looks like there's some sort of box here.
Yes.
Actually, I'm gonna check. It looks like there's more than one. I'm gonna check them both out.
Okay, you go to check them out. They appear to be small metallic boxes. They're in reasonable shape. It looks like the tendrils hasn't necessarily got to them yet, or at least you don't see any evidence. However, they're both locked.
All right, and you're talking about these two up here,
Yeah, I'm
right?
talking about the small ones, this one and this one.
Okay. All right, I'll start with this one here and then work my way to the top. Ragu, you want to give me some help here?
Absolutely.
All right, so I am going to provide myself with some expert guidance.
Okay.
And I am now going to try to open the first of the locks as soon as I figure out where I left my thieves' tools. So I keep wanting to look for locksmith lockpicks or something.
Okay.
24 or 26.
All right. It clicks. You have unlocked it.
All right, pop it open and gently open the lid.
Okay. You open it up, and somehow still intact, you find 3 fire cylinders and 3 lightning cylinders.
Hmm. Ooh, I'm gonna grab those. Ragu, I know you're a big fan of fire cylinders. I feel like I might want to use these lightning cylinders. And in the very near future at that.
Okay.
All
So
right.
how many was that? 3?
3.
Okay.
Then, okay. And you're going to help me on this other chest as well?
Most definitely.
Pico, allow me to offer myself some expert guidance. So I go ahead and do so again. That's not great. But fortunately, that's not the actual roll. That is this, which is almost as great.
It
Okay, I'll take a
clicks.
25.
It definitely is unlocked.
Okay, open that up.
You open it up, and inside you see another 3 fire cylinders. Okay, so Devok, what are you doing while Pico and Ragu are busy opening up boxes?
What's over here in this corner?
So as you move over, you see these large weapons I was talking about earlier. You can see there's still tendrils that are, you can see that are over the weapons. They're slowly growing back, and you can see that they've eaten part of the weapons. You can see another large cylinder on a swivel. Looks like some other sort of weapon, and you can see stripes through there as the, uh, um, the little creatures have consumed it. You see several weapon shares similar to those you've seen in the automata cave, and you see a large form automata that is damaged but did not did not become active.
Interesting. I am not so sure what to do here.
All right, so
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Call my skeleton in real quick just so he's not hanging out in the hallway alone.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Galen, you're still destroying things. I'll go and move you over to some other things to destroy. Pico and Ragu, you've opened up those two boxes, and Ragu, you've already investigated this thing. So what are you guys doing?
Galen, did you drink that potion?
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot you gave it to me. It was 2d4, right?
+2. Yeah.
2d4 plus 2 is in the chat.
Okay, sorry. Oh my gosh.
So you got 4.
Yep, I drank that potion.
Sorry about that. I thought
Don't
I'd
worry
help a
about
little
it.
more.
Yeah, it did. It did. It's not a big worry.
4 points is better than none.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah, you guys get through burning off the tendrils. So what are you guys going to do next?
Well, there's the thing back here.
Which thing?
This thing back here is a big, huge rack with a whole bunch of
Yeah, it looks like
tubular-looking weapons
tubes
on it.
and tubes and wires and odd shapes. You suspect these are probably components that go to something. They're probably
Okay, I thought these were.
not objects by themselves.
Okay, I thought you had initially described them as a rack of weapons.
No, these things are weapons. These things are weapons. These things are weapon chairs. These things look like they're giant parts to some sort of machine, perhaps an engine or something. And these are parts, probably parts to weapons, but not weapons themselves.
Okay. Well, I checked out this one. How's about this one? Is everything in here been partially?
You saw Devok checking it out, but
Oh,
unfortunately,
okay.
as you
He did.
approach, you realize it's in very similar shape.
All right, sorry.
There's something. You get this sense that there's something tasty about these weapons, or some reason there these tendrils are attached to them. Um, and actually, go ahead and give me an artificer check while you're checking this out.
Coming right up. Normal.
Okay, so as you're checking it out, you're actually getting the sense that the tendrils were not just consuming it, but perhaps figuring out how to use it, similar to how they use the large form automata.
Okay.
Great.
Just out of curiosity, there is one more box here. Do you want to help me look at that?
There is a large box, yes. It is also
Yeah.
locked.
Wait, where is it?
Right here.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, Ragu, I will allow you to allow me to help you.
Aha.
All right. So, but I think I need more. I need expert guidance. All right, let's try this out. Go ahead and flex my thieves' tools muscles here. Ooh, that's as good as it's gonna get. Almost 30.
Yeah, you go to touch it, and suddenly the lock just falls off.
I think you frightened it.
Finally, something's afraid of me around here. All right, open up the box. What do we have inside?
You open it up, and you see multiple objects that look like the fire cylinders, but larger, similar to those objects that you found before, Ragu. Similar to the ones you used to blow up a certain building.
We are not using those here. We
I'm
are
taking
not
them with
using
me.
those here.
I am taking them with me.
Ragu, look me in the eye. Rasiri, we are not
Yes.
using these here. You can take
That
them.
is
We are
fine.
not using them here.
That is fine. I have got no problems with that. Those big metal men are tough, but I am tougher. But I am taking them with me.
So you
Uh-huh.
get 3 of them.
This won't end badly.
Devok, Galen,
Uh-huh.
if anything comes up with those large cylinders and Ragu says that I said to ask you guys, the answer is do not use them here.
Yeah, deal. That makes a lot of sense.
That goes for you too, Galen's strange new friend, talking to Devok's contractor.
Oh yeah.
Regu, I'm gonna have you make a perception check, but given your personality, you have disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Okay. A perception check, you said?
Yeah.
Would this be deduction or investigation?
No, this is just noticing something. Those you would actually have to be actively trying to do something. Okay, yeah, you're good.
He could have rolled at advantage and failed.
That's awesome. But yeah, talking about my new friend, uh, do you think it would be worth the spell slots to chat with him? Or do you think that he doesn't know much that would be useful for us?
I mean, I
Well,
don't think I see no harm in trying.
You're talking about Speak with Dead?
Yes, I am.
actually,
Yeah.
how is everybody doing on spell slots? And
I'm actually doing pretty
how long
well.
do you think it's going to be?
Speaking of which, Ragu, I've got a question for you. You have Dragon's Breath, correct?
I do.
Are you able to cast it? I mean, not at this
I
exact
am.
moment.
Oh
I
All
wait,
am.
right.
I'm sorry. No, I'm so sorry. I can't use Speak with Dead. One of the things that it says is it can't be undead.
Oh, no, that's not a problem. One of them's already dead again, so we can use it on that one.
What what does that classify him as? Re-dead?
Yeah,
No, it's
Pretty dead,
just
I
dead
guess.
bones again.
Just a
He
repeat
was
customer.
undead temporarily.
Okay. This is a
Uh,
strange
the
gray
revolving
area
door of
we're
the
operating in.
afterlife.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of dig it. All right.
Oh, for the cylinders, comparing to the fire cylinders and lightning cylinders I have, is there anything that would tell me whether or not those large cylinders are likely to be large fire cylinders versus large lightning cylinders? Or anything
oh, you're
like
talking
that?
about the ones that Ragu just found?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go and you start looking at the cylinders that he just found, and due to your passive perception, as you start paying attention, you notice two things. One is at the bottom of this box, near the left side. You notice a few holes in the box. Often near the bottom, not kind of hard to notice. Um, and the second thing you notice is that there are at the back of the cylinders that he found, you see several holes. Um, and if you look around the hole, you can see red on a little bit of red on the inside.
Hmm.
As
Ragu?
far as whether they're fire or lightning, you can't tell.
Can you go ahead and inspect these? I suspect that these might be flawed.
All right. I'm going to investigate them. Are you going to be helping me there? Well, you're already helping me, so I guess it's a yes.
Yeah, so this would be your artificer or one of your other skills. This is when you get to use it.
All right,
Okay.
well, allow me to offer my expert guidance.
And the reason I said the personality thing is because you wanted these weapons to be good.
So
So
I
you weren't
just grabbed
necessarily
them.
looking for reasons they weren't.
Yeah. All right, and so 28.
All right. So the sense you're getting is that the tendrils that the Vok or Galen's been destroying. I mean, some of those are actually inside these weapons, and you're suspecting that perhaps they were just consuming the weapons. Perhaps they were trying to figure out how to use them. But regardless, they have essentially been infected, and if you tried to use them, you're not sure what that means.
Oh,
No.
I guess I'm leaving them here.
Although this does bring up an interesting conundrum because, well, of course, I guess because these bugs are apparently potentially everywhere. The swarms are just big clusters, but based on the bench, we know that there are smaller amounts of them. Yeah, probably best to leave these here. Galen, do
Yes.
you have any idea how we might be able to render these things inert somehow?
The tendril things or the
The
bugs?
fire cylinders or cylinders, whatever they are.
Oh. I
I might
don't
be
know
able
if I
to help you.
specialized in weapons. I mean, I could think about it. Should I roll a
I've got
history or something?
yeah.
What?
I'm actually you can roll a d8.
Okay. Let's see if I remember how to turn them off. Nope.
Combining my scavenger, deduction, and artificer skills, would those give me a way to pop it open and see about disarming it?
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, let's pop open the grenade.
All right.
You
I
have fun with that. I'm just gonna be leaving the room.
uh,
As I will be.
I,
I'll go in.
I'll go ahead
I
and give
meant
you
just with
I'll
like
go ahead and give you
screws.
a deduction or an artificer roll, but the DC is pretty high. Um,
Boop.
and in
guidance.
fact, I think this will be a first for this campaign, but I think it's a secret roll. So what's your bonus?
Um, I'm going to be using deduction because I want to figure out
Actually,
whether I
Ragu,
can
wait.
before I
I've got an
actually start
idea.
ripping open. Oh,
I've
go
got an
ahead.
idea. Let's ask the other AI.
Okay. But still, it was going to be a deduction. I wanted to see if I could figure it out before actually, getting a screwdriver and starting to open panels.
You could try, but what if you figure out the wrong way?
All right, we can ask.
And this will give Galen a chance to meet the thing.
Oh,
There's
that's right. He
Actually,
another
gets to roll
thing.
a d8 when he meets it, doesn't he?
Wait, there's another thing. Also, do you need healing, Pico?
I'll worry about it
Yes.
later.
So do you want to roll Ragu or are you going to hold off?
Uh, uh, I'll go with the rest of the party.
Okay.
By the way, I wanted to figure this out on my own a long time ago because I want to be able to do that with the ones I already have. But we'll wait and ask the AI first.
All right. So I'll step this way, and if Galen hasn't cleared out the ones in the hallways and stuff like this, I'm going to advise that he does so at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, if any of these are still alive, lightning, fire, the works.
Okay.
Seems like somebody's
Lightning
already
seems to
gone
work
through and done
best.
that.
Cool. That's good.
Okay, well, in that case, let's go ahead and move on. Now, since this is technically a different section, I think, yeah, this door is closed now, right?
Yeah, it's technically closed, but you would have to go and open it again.
All right, well, wait here, and I'll go down, trigger it, come back up the elevator.
So what you notice, Galen, is when he leaves, and then after a certain point, these doors close and become
Oh,
unopenable, and then these doors open. So I was
weird.
actually wrong before. That should have been closed before, but I forgot.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But now they're activated.
All right. So, yep, this way, and yeah, he should see the extension cord running into the side room there. And then,
So hold on, guys. Galen, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry. I'm using a laptop and the trackpad is being weird.
Oh, okay. Anyway, as he said, the wire that was coming out of that weird thing that Pico's wheeling around goes into this room over here. All right. As you enter again, you can feel this place a kind of calming effect here. The lights are go from this garish, flashing, warning red to soothing blue, and you can see that the weapons are not twitching in this room.
Oh, that's
Just
good.
kind of vaguely looking around the ceiling, I call, hello, we're back, and we've brought one of the masters with us.
Oh,
And it's like, oh, welcome, welcome, master.
um, oh, hello.
What
In order to be
you have come
helping the
here to
master.
remove the virus, right?
I certainly have been doing that, so yeah, I guess so. Uh,
Make sure to keep your friends away from the weapons. They're all too
okay.
interested in the weapons,
Yeah,
especially that tall one.
Yeah,
I'll make
speaking of the
sure.
weapons, since there are now more people in the master's group, perhaps another one or two of the turrets to help defend the master's life. Yeah.
Mm, no, no more turrets. We need to protect this
No.
place if you die.
Well, speaking of, we've been putting the one you've provided to good use. We're still working on clearing out weapons storage, but we have destroyed several of these virus swarms, including 2 corrupted large format automata. So that is some of the threat destroyed. We're still working on it.
Oh, that's good. Destroy just the virus. It cannot get here. The data cannot be corrupted.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Galen,
Hmm.
Devok's new contractors came from a room behind that door.
Oh, okay. I'll go check it out then.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh wow, that one is still very dead.
When did you arrive? Number
Oh,
147?
oh, that's right. That's my number. Ooh, I think we got here earlier today. A lot of the connections have been broken down, so it's
We actually,
take
yeah,
taken
we
my
arrived here
time to
today.
get here. I think we've probably been here for what, like maybe 3 or 4 hours, probably more.
No, we've actually been here most of the day because we got to Delsara City yesterday evening.
Uh-huh.
We rested immediately, started up in the morning, and it took us a while to trek over to this location. So yeah, I think we're in the middle of the afternoon right now.
According to my records, you're one of the successful ones from experiment 02A0.
So I'm told. Yeah, do you know much about that experiment? Actually, my memory seems to have lapsed.
Oh, I know all sorts of things about it. Accessing
Oh boy,
cannot
this is exciting.
cannot
Oh
access.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah. See, all that I know cannot access, and cannot access. And I'd like to tell you more, but I seem to be having trouble.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't don't stress yourself out about it.
I think you should be able to find out more there. See if there's any other successes. There
Yeah,
are cannot access successes.
okay, cool. We'll swing by the experiment room in a little bit. I just needed to check out this room.
So as you look around, you see several of those metal beds, but they don't seem to be active. They are
Hmm.
completely dark, and
Yeah.
these bodies actually aren't here anymore
Yep.
because Devok had
Mr. Bug.
raised them and moved them.
Mm-hmm. So is the other one, you said the re-dead one was, is is he somewhere accessible? I assume he's dead somewhere else,
I
right?
think he's back in that hallway where you guys were doing the fighting.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I thought
yeah,
we packed him in a bag or something.
what was this
Well,
room used for? Where are we?
You
What
are
is
in
going
weapon research.
on? It's
so yeah, we're on.
probably a good idea to talk to them then. Because these beds are for healing, right? So they were probably injured in an attack when the what's their faces came and attacked the
They
facility
seem
to
to
start
be
the weapon.
they seem to be the beds where you found the
Oh,
living shadow kind.
the cryo beds. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's go back to the hallway, and I think it should definitely be worth my time to talk to him. Do you want to help me
Before you
think of some questions?
before you do, I'd like to ask the weapons research AI some questions. So once we
Oh,
defeated well, after defeating some of the enemies over in weapons storage, we found some large fire cylinders that it looks like the virus swarms tunneled into and infected. Do you know what they would have done to those large uh, weapons? I'll do a minor illusion and hold it up in the middle of nowhere so that he can see what kind of weapon I'm talking about.
You mean the missiles?
oh,
Sure. Um, Anyways, some of those virus swarms seem to have infected them, so I was wondering what they could do to them, and also if there's a way to render such contaminated weapons inert.
I believe they are attempting to use those weapons or learn to use those weapons, probably so they can breach my defenses and corrupt the data. Um, Making it inert. Accessing. And you hear silence for a while. And then once the silence ends, it says, please return to the break room and search the lockers that you find there.
All right, I will do so. Galen, if you want to see something cool, go through this door here and have a seat, and you might get a sneak preview of some of the other fights we have ahead of us.
oh boy.
You might notice there's a missing chair in there.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start checking the lockers.
Okay, and one of the lockers, and you swear this wasn't here before. Um, you see a small black cube. It's about the size of a D6, and it says you place that inside, and I believe will that will release a gas that should make the devices inert. Um, it only covers a small area, and I don't have much of it.
Is this thing reusable?
Um, it it has enough to be used 3 or 4 times.
All right. Is this gas dangerous to people?
Not in the small quantities. Unfortunately, it won't be useful for rooms, only for smaller objects like missiles.
Yep, that is fine. There's 2 weapon storage rooms, right? Um, oh no, that's machine. Oh yeah, there is weapon storage B, but that's probably part of. No, actually, we don't know.
Anyway, Galen, here's an example of one that you would see. You can see all the tendrils. You're
I
seeing this from
actually
the ceiling, kind of looking around.
oh
Um,
wow.
and I'll give you another example of one that you see. Um, you'll have to move your camera, but you
Oh my
see a
god.
room with a number of automata, and there are tendrils you can see going into all of them.
Mhm.
And here's another one that you see. You have to scroll even further over. You see big form automata, but you see these even more massive, large bipedal machine um, that is covered with these things. And
Oh
I'll go and move you back.
jeez. Well, that's horrifying.
Out of curiosity, I'm gonna go ahead and return to the room where we normally talk to the thing, and I'm going to show illusions, minor illusions of the lightning cylinders and then the fire cylinders, and ask it, what are these called?
Oh, those are called grenades.
Okay. They seem to come in multiple types. Are those the only two types?
No, but they are the most common types.
Hmm. Interesting. Let's see. What other?
So how is it that you got all the way here, and yet you know so little?
Well, because we come from a very long distance away. We're not natives to Lumev.
Where do you come from?
Uh, just out of character, do we actually refer to the world we live in as the Nexus, or is there
Yeah,
some other? Oh, we come from a very differently shaped world that we call the Nexus.
the Nexus. That sounds familiar. Accessing. Portal to the Nexus. Closed for hundreds of years, perhaps even thousands.
We can say for reasonable certainty that that would have been closed for about 1,317 years. No, a little longer than that. I think this portal opened 2 years ago, so 1,326 years. It opened a couple of years ago, and we've been and a local guild in our world, has been training explorers to learn about the world and study it. We've managed to rescue some of the masters as well as some of their automata constructs. In fact,
Accessing. Invasion by the Routh. Imminent. Your world will be invaded.
Yep.
that's part of why we're here. We're trying to figure out a way to stop these invasions, because apparently to stop the invasion before, the portals were sealed off, which worked. The problem is that sealing off the portals had a lot of very unusual side effects that caused a problem, particularly with the gods of the realm and anybody who died. And it was enabling a particular individual to rise to power and essentially enslave us all. So we needed to unseal our world to stop all this, which helped, but now we've met the Kylon.
Ex-
Or,
accessing. Shara knew of the invasion of the Nexus and left a message. Message inaccessible.
Cool.
I believe if if you manage to make the data safe, you will be able to access the message.
well, fortunately, we are still working on that. Um,
Um, Galen, go ahead and roll a d8 for the name mentioned.
Oh, maybe that's my boss. Just got scared.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's something about the name that's tickling at your memory, but it's not coming forward.
Hmm.
Um, I'll ask the computer something. When did this virus show up?
One one of the AI went insane and created the
Oh,
virus.
wait,
oh
which
yeah, he told us about that while you were
one?
comatose.
Well, it's not the one downstairs, right?
No, it's one up here that's not doesn't exist anymore. Apparently, it or supposedly doesn't exist. Supposedly, it sort of destroyed itself in the process of doing this.
We'll see. Okay, got it.
You
Cool,
must
cool.
destroy the virus or the data will become corrupted.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna destroy that virus. Don't you worry about it.
If the data is
And
corrupted, I must destroy.
no, don't worry. We're gonna destroy that virus.
And the tall
Um,
one is near the weapon again.
yes.
I'm not
Okay.
touching anything. You're acting
No, it's-
suspicious. I'm not acting suspicious.
Ragu, step away from the weapon.
I'm hungry. When's lunch?
When we do make the data safe, could I access some of the weapon information?
There's a
I do not know. The information is sealed.
Hmm.
What you can
Gay.
access, you will find out when I open the sealed chamber.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Galen, the AI said before there's another AI. At least I think it was another one that's basically something's been researching a more advanced. Anyway, we'll
Cool,
find
and it'll
out.
decide stuff after we
Yeah.
clear out this virus. That's all I needed to know. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So yeah, where should we head next then? Do we want to talk to the other guy, or do we want to keep hunting down more of this virus?
Weren't
Why
you
don't we
gonna
talk?
talk to
Why
the
don't we
dead
talk?
person?
I
The
do
one that
kind
I
of want to talk to that guy.
used? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so I'm thinking, oh, what should we ask them? What should we ask them? I think I get 5 questions.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to open this up to everybody. I'll let them know that I can ask him a couple questions and ask if they have any specific questions that they want to know too.
I don't know if it helps our immediate situation, but it might be interesting finding out why uh, the Kylon weapon or whatever it's called killed so many Shadowkind, or maybe ask about why Delsara City, I think we can count as Kylon invasion type stuff. But I am kind of curious as to why so many Shadowkind were killed off, you know, and had to be
Yeah,
put
maybe
into some
ask
sort of
us
protective stasis.
Mm-hmm.
as to the nature of the weapon. I don't know. Is it something that has to kill every living thing, and that is why it killed the creators as well?
Well, I think that one,
Yeah.
if we do ask why the Shadowkind had to be put into stasis, if it's because of the weapon, it'll probably tell me if it wants to. The dead thing has a little bit of free reign to how it answers my questions. Okay, so I think question number 1 will be why did Shadowkind go into stasis? Why did we start putting
Or how about why
Shadowkind
why
into
did they
stasis?
need to?
Yeah, okay. Why did they need to go into stasis? So here's the next problem. The reason I want to know all these questions beforehand is I'm going to have to roughly translate these questions into the language if I can. Because just because I'm talking to it doesn't mean this thing knows Common or any of the other languages. It's only going to speak
Good point.
what it knew. So it's going to be kind of interesting.
I've got an idea for that.
Yeah, maybe we could bring the body into the room with one of the AIs and have the AI translate.
That would work,
Uh-huh.
I think. That's my
So
thinking.
I guess that depends on how Speak with Dead works, right?
you speak with dead. So speak with dead. I have to be the one to ask the question, right? And I can ask
But
5
everyone can
questions.
hear it.
Huh?
But everyone can hear it.
Oh yeah, I think I'm just talking. I think even everybody can hear what the dead thing says. It's just it has to be me.
Gotcha.
So that won't be too much of an issue, I don't think. Um,
Aw.
yeah, so let's figure out some others. So why did Shadowkind need to be put into stasis? Um,
Well, actually,
maybe
that's a good
maybe
question. Um, that's, The language we're speaking right now, is this the language that the masters always spoke?
No, I don't think
No,
so. Remember?
you're
Because they
not
always
sure
talked to me in
why.
that other language.
Yeah, you're not sure why the AI can understand you, because the Shadowkind language is the same, mostly untranslated language you guys have been dealing with since you've been here.
Yeah, and I barely can know how to translate it. I need to work on that some more.
So I'm kind of
Mhm.
curious. Um, could you say hello, welcome to or no, hello, welcome to weapon research in the language the masters spoke?
I probably could if I got it,
No,
like,
I'm
if I...
asking the AI to do that.
Oh, sure.
You don't hear anything. You're talking, but either it doesn't know you're talking to it or it's ignoring you.
Excuse me, weapon research AI?
Yes,
Actually, do you have a name other than that?
I think so. Accessing unknown.
Okay. Well,
Files
anyway,
corrupted.
Oh, God.
all right. Well, I know the group is infamous for giving people names or entities names, but I guess we'll stick with weapons research AI for the moment. Anyway, I was wondering if you could say, hello, welcome to weapons research in the language for the masters used to speak.
Yes, I can say that.
Would you please do so, just so we can get a little bit of an understanding of what their language sounded like?
It speaks it, and it's um, it's yeah. I think you probably have heard this before. I think Galen's probably spoken a little bit of it. But yeah, it does. It sounds very different than Elven or other languages from home, and
Mhm.
um, from what you've been able to try with your comprehend languages spells, those seem to go haywire and don't give you very good results.
Hmm. Well, am I at least
Galen,
able to emulate the sounds? At the very least, all I really need to do is learn how to emulate that sound
Yeah,
after
you
I've
try to
translated the
speak it,
question.
and it's natural to you. You don't know, or you don't. Your understanding's pretty rough, but when you actually try to speak it, it's like you've spoken it all your life.
Yeah, muscle memory, baby. Let's go.
well, Ragu, hopefully it's that easy for everybody else.
No, everybody else has trouble. It's like being a native English speaker and not knowing any other languages, and then trying to replicate Russian or something.
Wild. All right, well, so let's plan out our questions, translate them, I'll emulate them, and then we'll get the translated answers, hopefully. I'm thinking about asking one maybe about any other potential weaknesses that were spotted in the Kylon besides the weapon. Besides the weapon, do the Kylon have any weaknesses? Would maybe be something useful. Um, hmm. I also might want to ask some personal questions. Like maybe I should wait until I fully research the experiment, but
Personal questions. Is there supposed to be a bump like that down there?
oh God. Um
Interesting.
no. I was thinking more about
How do you
like
procreate?
yeah, exactly. Um I was thinking
Just don't
more
ask it how magnets work.
yeah, that would be that I remember that. That was so funny. Um hmm. Maybe like on our history or something. I don't know. I'm kind of stumped actually right now. I'm having trouble thinking of questions.
Same. Well, let's go towards it, shall we?
Yeah. Well, we should drag it into here or into the other room so that we can have
We
a
should probably go
translator.
do
Yeah, I mean, you guys can. I take like 5 minutes to do it, or however long it takes Pico to make the round trip. So I can just say that you guys do that to save you guys time.
Sure.
that.
Cool.
Sure.
So 5 minutes passes. You drag the body in here. What do you do next?
Okay. Let's think of the questions and then translate them, and then I'll cast a spell.
Yeah. So
Do we want to ask how they died, he and his friend?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. That can be question 3. How did you and your friend die? Um,
Um, how did... What was so I got the why did the masters have to go into stasis? What was the other question? If we're already
um,
two.
so the other two, so we were going to do why they go into stasis. The other one I thought was, besides the weapon, do the Kylon have any weaknesses? Or whatever they call the Kylon, you know. So that's 3. We have 2 more. Um,
Actually, we could ask, since we saw that there was definitely a lot of warfare, maybe before asking about the weaknesses, we could ask what enemy they were fighting in Delsara City, and then based on that name, we can translate that. Um, or actually, excuse me, weapon research AI. I show a minor illusion of a Kylon, and what are these called again?
Those are the Ralph.
The Ralph. Ralph, how's that spelled?
I'll go ahead and
Just
put
out
it
of
in the
curiosity.
chat. Someday, if I
Just
can
out of
ever type.
curiosity, these. Sorry.
Ralph. Okay. Ralph. Okay.
Just out of
Yep.
curiosity, I
well,
mean, we found these two guys in the weapons research
yeah, they might
department,
have
right?
some information on the weapon.
Why not just ask them directly what and where is the Kylon or Ralph fighting weapon?
I think it's Oh, because this is just the research. It's probably not located here.
Yeah. But they would know about it because it had to be research.
Well, they might not. They might not. It depends on whether they died before the weapon went off or not, because it may have been moved around.
True.
We could ask. How about we ask how that weapon was deployed?
Sure. How was the weapon deployed? The Ralph weapon deployed.
Or how was it used to defeat the Ralph?
And then I guess if you guys can't think of another question that's going to be like really pertinent, I kind of wanted to ask um, where I could learn the history of our people. If there's like a building that I could go to that has that information stored, or if where I could learn.
That's
Yeah,
a really good one, I think.
yeah, I kind of like that one.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, I was going to ask it where I could learn the history of our people.
I see.
Yeah, I think those are some good choices.
Okay, so do you want to? I think I'll translate those 5 into uh, whatever our language is called. Hey AI, what is our language called?
And after a moment, um, hold on, give me one moment.
Yeah, sure.
It should be right here. I had the name written down, but I seem to be blanking out.
Hmm.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so he says, um, yes, You are a master, aren't you? It is named after the name of your people. Do you not remember?
I don't. I think that
Your
I've had
files
some.
have been corrupted.
Yeah, pretty
Not
much.
well. Corrupted
Not
is maybe not the
corrupted,
right best term, but
lost. They're
apparently
unaccessible.
there are side effects to being asleep for so long.
I see.
Yes,
The
my files are inaccessible.
name of the language and your people is the Kerno.
Cairno. Oh, interesting. Cool.
All right. Wow, we're learning all sorts of stuff here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
All right. So what are
Cool,
you gonna do?
cool.
Jeez, too bad.
I'm sorry, go, Pico.
I was gonna say, too bad they probably don't know anything about Sudaga.
True. Yeah, I'm
Maybe,
sorry, man.
or actually, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, they might not like you too much.
All right. So what do you guys do?
Um, I want to translate the 5 questions that we had.
So what I'll go
Uh,
ahead and do is when you ask your questions, Galen, I'll have you ask the questions as you want to ask them, and I'll just assume that that's what you translated.
okay, cool. So real quick, I'm gonna go through them again so I don't mess up and we lose one. It's how did you and your friend die? Why did Shadowkind have to be put into stasis? Uh, Besides the weapon, do the Kylon, or sorry, the Routh have any weaknesses? Um, where can I learn the history of our people? And what was the last one? Dave, do you have
That
it?
was the Routh weapon used to defeat the Routh.
How is the Routh weapon deployed or used to defeat the Routh? Okay.
Yeah.
Why do I have to be put into stasis? How did you and your friend die? Um, okay, I think I'm ready. I probably won't forget one.
Okay, that's good.
Good luck.
I'll keep you honest.
Okay, sounds good. To be fair, if I start blanking out, you can probably just say one as long as I don't say, hey, what was that other question? And he says, I don't know. As long as that doesn't happen, we should be good.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you do?
I cast, 1 second. I cast Speak with Dead on his body.
Okay, fair enough. You see the spirit of the shadow kind appear, and you see a figure. You recognize the uniform. He seems to be wearing some sort of helmet with glass covering his face, and he seems to be looking around frantically, as if he's confused about where he is. So what do you do?
Okay, so it says I can ask 5 questions, right? I think I'm allowed to make any number of statements to it, though.
Okay.
So say, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I brought you back from the dead to ask you these questions. Or not brought you back. I raised your spirit to ask you these questions.
He looks at you, and then suddenly he stops being confused, and he says, "Number 147."
Uh, y yes, that's me. I think. Wait, actually,
How are you sane? How are you alive?
1 second. Just to break character for a second, real quick. I know that I thought my number was just 7 and my serial number was 2372. Is one of those incorrect? As my number
This
one?
seems to be a different number. You're not sure where this number comes from, but the AI used the same number.
Yeah, so it must be me. Maybe it's related more to my experiment. If he's asking me, I'm going to respond. I'm going to say, I don't know. I have lost most of my memories, if not all.
You better leave. The the weapon that's going to go off soon.
The weapon has already gone off, we believe.
What? And then how is everybody? I mean, I guess the experiment was successful, but what are they? He starts looking at, especially at Devok, but then he looks a bit at Ragu, and then suddenly his eyes dart to Pico, and he just tries to sit down and then kind of phases through the desk and then gets back up again. Why have you
Um,
brought me here?
their friends, somehow many of our people fled to the world called Nexus after the weapon was set off. Um, so that's how I met them, and that's how we got here. The portal to Nexus has been reopened. But
Yeah, and then
yes.
suddenly you see something kind of almost tearing at the spirit. Almost like pulling it, and then he kind of looks back and he says, "You have 5 questions."
Oh, okay, perfect. Why were Shadowkind being put into stasis?
Um, I thought everybody knew, but the weapon it it was designed to take out the the Routh, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, at the time we couldn't figure out how to get it, how to avoid the field affecting all sapient life.
Hmm.
Um, Shara, she thought she had an answer. She said something, but we didn't have time. We were under attack, and there's nothing we could do.
Hmm.
He said share. Oh, I guess
Shara.
that would be the language I wouldn't quite.
Oh. Oh, I might have to switch around some questions. Hmm. Um, we'll just keep moving on with the five we have.
Let's see. So you asked why they had to go into stasis,
hmm
right?
Yep, I'm gonna ask the next one now.
Okay.
How was the weapon going to be deployed?
Well, I actually don't know where the weapon is, but it was going to be deployed remotely, and if it's already happened, then it already happened.
Okay. Um, how did you and the other shadow kind with you die?
We couldn't get into stasis in time. We had to make sure everything was working, and due to the attack, the pods weren't they the power went down, and we there's nothing we can do.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm gonna skip the weakness. What was the answer that Shara had?
I I don't know. She kept talking about it, but we weren't allowed to hear. Um, there's the our management said that there was no time.
Damn it. All right. Okay. Where can I go to learn the history of our people?
He seems to think about it for a moment, and then he says, "The Great Library of Nataro."
Okay. Great Library of Nataro. Awesome. I think that's all five.
And at this
Yep.
point in time, he seems to look around again, and he says, "So were they destroyed? Were the Routh destroyed?
Not completely. They're attacking the Nexus again, but we are going to destroy them once and for all.
And then he fades out of view.
Okay. Sorry, I kind of changed some stuff on the fly. I really was curious about that other thing.
I think that was actually probably a good choice.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's great to know their weaknesses, but when you're fighting, like, building-sized dragons, it probably doesn't matter how weak that weakness is when you're, our size. Um, okay. Hey, AI, do you happen to know where the Great Library of Nataro is located?
Accessing.
Ah, fuck.
It is within the northwest region of the city of Nataro.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Can you show us where the city of Nataro is? Do you have a map? Like, Del Sara City is here, Nataro City is somewhere else?
If you're talking Ragu, I can't hear you.
I said, can you tell us where Nataro City is in relation to here? Like Del Sara City is here, Nataro City is somewhere else, giving us a vague
Accessing.
direction.
I cannot give you precise directions, but I can tell you it is in the northwest direction.
Okay.
So
Do you know if there's
northwest of
any
Del Sara
public
City.
I was gonna say, do you know if there's any public transportation that take us there? Or transportation services?
The transportation system link um, does link to Nataro. Yes, it is one of
Awesome.
the major cities.
Awesome, thank you. So, I guess, guys, that means the weird tube that we took over here might be able to take us to that city too.
Ooh. As long as I'm curious about things, I'm going to go ahead and show a picture of basically the subway cars and stuff like that. And it's like, what is this thing called?
It is called a hypertrain.
Interesting. What is the place? We notice that there are specific locations these things go to. What are those called?
They are called train stations.
And then, um, we also found some sort of moving room that can go up and down inside a vertical shaft. And there seems to be a cables attached, and I'll show the view of the inside of one of those. What is this?
Those are called elevators. Do you need to be told what the sky is or what water is as well?
No, I'm definitely quite familiar with those.
And these are turrets, and suddenly you see these things going back and forth, panning back and forth, and then they stop again.
We ran into something that acts similar to these turrets, but was a different shape. I go ahead and show one of those dome type turrets. And are these also turrets?
Yes, they are a special type of. There's a special type of turret that can access full 360 degrees and both vertically and horizontally. Or sorry, 360 degrees horizontally, 180 degrees vertically. My files are corrupted. Having trouble accessing files.
Unfortunately for us, the Nexus, or at least the part of the Nexus we're from, does not rely or does not have nearly as many of these mechanical objects. So there's a great deal that's unfamiliar.
That is strange. According to my records, the Nexus is artificial.
Yes, some recent discoveries by a different adventuring group seems to have pointed that out. Also, it is something that I've noticed before, but that yeah, the Nexus does not look at all like Lumev or any of the dead planets that we had discovered that apparently the Routh had already devastated. Actually, that might be some good news, so I don't think that came up. Apparently, the Kylon weapon worked, at least here in Lumev, because we have not encountered any Routh and during any of the expeditions since we've opened this portal or entered this portal.
That is correct. All sensors indicate that they have been destroyed.
Yep, we're hoping we can use that against more Routh in the future. Let's see, elevators, turrets. Boy, I'm just building up a whole new dictionary here. Well, this is actually quite interesting then. Do you have any history on the Nexus? Because there's a lot of lost knowledge, and I'm starting to believe that, or understand that, we've probably lost a lot more knowledge than I think anybody had ever really realized.
Accessing. Yes, there are abundant histories of the Nexus. Accessing. Top secret. Need to know only.
Okay, well, maybe this is less secret. I'm going to go ahead and show a picture of a representative day with the sun in the sky, and then I'll go ahead and do a similar one with the nighttime with the moons. So what we consider to be a sun and the moons in the Nexus are very different than what has been seen in any of the other planets, especially Lumev. Why are why are they so different in the Nexus?
Because they are artificial.
Um, but why are they artificial? Why are they that shape?
The sun is shaped the way it is because it is a tube of light that extends infinitely, and the moons are shaped for. I'm having trouble understanding what they mean, but my records show aesthetics.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I
So are you
guess
saying that the outside sky at the Nexus is an inside sky or something?
I do not understand the question.
well, let me ask this out of character first. Based on, I mean, I don't know what astronomers would have done in the Nexus, but have they ever actually figured out that we're basically on an interior surface that the world wraps around
I
and is
think they
essentially
probably would have
concave?
figured that out, yeah, because they could tell that the stars were a finite distance away.
Okay. So based on astronomers in the Nexus, we've determined that the world seems to extend in a very long distance, longer than we know in one direction. I guess infinite based on what you said. But we've also noticed that the there's essentially a concave curvature, so it appears that the world that we know of wraps around the sun and the moon. That does not seem to be the case here. So why is the sun and the moon, is it inside a world as opposed to being outside a world?
Yes.
Huh. How would a world become such a different shape than these other ones? These ones, were they artificial?
No. The
Yes.
creators of the Nexus once lived in a world like this.
Hmm. Well, based on the limited history we have, nobody seems to know who those creators are. So,
Accessing. I am unable to access that information.
all right. So I guess official confirmation we live in a really long tube.
All right. I have many other questions, but Rasiri can't ask them because they're questions that would be from Nico.
Fair enough. All
All of a sudden, Nico starts climbing out of some panel on the floor.
right.
You know, with you know, the great Swizz tile extractor tool.
Fair enough. All right. So what do you guys do next?
I don't think we're quite finished clearing out weapons storage. Do we want to go ahead and try and get that area cleared out? I'd like to at least, I mean, my feeling is that the weapons storage is the most dangerous area to leave infested, and if we clear that, that might make it a little safer to deal with things like the, checking the experiment area and whatnot.
As
Do we
you're
know to what
talking,
extent the
you hear the AI speak up again. I believe that due to recent information, I need to grant you access as soon as possible. So I believe that the greatest danger comes from weapon storage A and weapon storage B. If those are if those are sufficiently cleared, then I believe that access to the data will be safe. And once the data has been secured, I believe it is prudent to erase it.
Um,
The
is there a way to
masters, there is
carry
a
the
master
data?
here now who can follow the data and follow the last wishes of the message.
Is there a way to carry the data?
No, the data is a message.
Okay.
well, I guess maybe we should get going then. It sounds like we are in agreement. I do think that stopping the virus from having access to weapons is an excellent idea. So, shall we, or does anybody need to make any preparations first?
Yes, I'm wanting to know how everybody is doing on spell slots.
Um,
I'm
I'm
okay.
doing pretty good, but I may need
Yeah.
you to use one here shortly, Rahagu.
The reason I ask is because I do have 6 of these crystals that will give you up to 3 levels of spell slots back. So I want to use them sparingly, but that's what we have them for.
Well, I'm pretty well covered here, but unfortunately, the spell I think I need most, I'm not able to cast. So as long
Okay.
as you've got it's the second level spell slot available.
Oh, I do.
As correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Dragon's Breath have a lightning option?
It does.
In that case, I think there may very well be a valuable use for it.
All right. Um. Yeah. So we're saying that someone was going to be using the turret.
That'll still be
Someone is
me.
going to. Someone's going to have lightning on their breath. Any
Eh,
volunteers?
oh, I've got a volunteer in mind already,
Okay.
but we'll want to make sure we're in position first. Galen, you looked most recently. Did you see other areas that looked to be in weapon storage? I mean, like multiple areas where there was fighting, or I mean, virus.
Um, what do you mean by that? Because I did see multiple places that had the virus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, maybe I'll just jump in and have a look, unless maybe everybody wants to, just so that we have a quick peek.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody stack up. Um, you notice that as you look at the different screens, um, there are different. There's actually different markings. It appears that some of the screens show you machine storage, and that seems to be where all the Kylon are. Um, and as far as
Wait, did you say Kylon?
no, I meant automata.
Yeah.
As far as the what's in weapon storage, it only shows you one location, although there might be more. Um, and I'm taking you there now. So you should see the location. You can see that it's a long hallway, and you can see that it is full to the brim with those tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go ahead and move you back now.
I remember the last time we looked, there was the full of automata.
Yeah, those, like I said, are in machine storage, A and B.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the left side of the map. We're only going to be focusing on the right.
Gotcha.
All right, so we'll go ahead and line up at the door here. Go ahead and bring the office chair of doom along. And once everybody's here ready by the door, I'll go ahead and swap it out.
Okay, you guys should have control of your characters now, so you guys can move.
Cool.
You saw Pico go this direction.
I. He went
About, yeah, in the
down.
main elevator room.
Ah, okay. Cool. So we're gonna go out now. Do we have to do the switcheroo? What are you
Yeah.
doing, by the way, when you do that? What's
Doing
happening?
I thought
what?
we had a way to do that quickly.
You're like switching the doors. What are you doing?
Oh, because we could only have one door open at a time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have to run downstairs and flip a switch. Oh no, we were able to do that quickly. We have a fast connect to do that now.
Yeah, basically, I'm just going down the elevator to the panel, hitting the appropriate button, coming back up the elevator.
Oh, okay.
Any one of us could do it. I guess I'm just doing it because I've got a slightly higher move.
No, yeah, that's fine. I just had no clue what was happening because when I came up, I just pushed the button and came up.
All right, what do you do?
Let's go ahead and scooch our way in. Do we want to go ahead and wade in and deal with the biggest threat first?
That sounds maybe not like the best idea. Maybe we should take on a smaller one just to see what we're getting ourselves into.
We
In
have a
that case,
pretty good idea. That's what
okay.
those larger automatas does.
I'm gonna listen at these 3 rooms to the south again.
Yep, you hear scratching here and here, and you recognize this one as being the elevator,
Elevator. Okay. So,
as is this one.
okay. So those doors here, they lead to what they call elevators.
Mm-hmm.
And then these 2 rooms, they're scratching noises, and when we've heard that, it's been the those virus swarms, those insect type things. Do we want to get a peek in first? I'm thinking that we won't need your dragon's breath just yet, Ragu, but maybe we'll want to have a look to see.
Okay.
All right, so you're just going to open the door. Which one?
Probably the one Ragu's next to is the right door,
Okay.
or the door to the east.
He looks inside, and he sees. Okay, I've been moving your character up with everybody else, so you're right behind the group. Real quick, let's go ahead and recenter.
Oh,
So,
there it
do you
is.
see it?
Yep.
All right, Ragu, you see several of the large form automata, and you see several. You see the tentacles, and you can see that that one of the automata here is twitching, the others seem to be motionless, and then you see tentacles which will probably erupt into insects.
I,
And since you just opened the door, for some reason, they seem to be agitated, um, even more so than the ones above. Almost like they know that something is coming. So go ahead and roll initiative. Alrighty. And in this case, there is no held actions or surprise, so it's just going based off of initiative order.
Man, I've been not rolling so hot for initiative.
Okay, and then I'll go ahead and roll for them. Great. And sort. All right, so as we go into the first round, you notice that almost immediately, once the door opens, the controlled automata rips itself and starts lumbering forward, right at Ragu, and it just starts right into him, trying to pound him into dust. With his hits, Ragu is able to dodge, and then with disadvantage, because he is in melee range, he looks forward toward Pico and fires a beam of energy. But with a 10, fails to connect. Ragu, this thing has tried to pound into you and to shoot at Pico. What are you going to do?
Nobody shoots at my friend Pico. Smash. Okay.
Let me make sure his health is visible.
Shouldn't you be smashing the door closed?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? All right. Let's see if that works. It does not. I'll do it manually. Okay. The door is now closed. As you so you spend your free action closing the door, and then once that, are you doing anything else?
If it was just my free action to close the door, I'm going to pause for a second because I don't know if these things know how to open doors. If they do, we're screwed.
Okay. So you're pausing. Are you going to hold an action or anything?
If it's going to be that long, yeah, I'm going to hold an attack if it opens a door.
Okay. All right. You hear buzzing noises. Devok, you saw the automata attempt to smash Ragu and shoot at Pico. Then Ragu closed the door. So what are you going to do, if anything?
Guess I'll just move forward. I'll move my skeleton forward too.
Okay.
You close the door, you said, right?
The door is currently closed.
Yeah, I'll just wait.
Okay. Do you want to hold an action or anything?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Actually, I'll switch positions with my skeleton as well.
Okay, go ahead. You can move yourself to where you want to go. There you go.
Yeah.
There's
And what's your what's the trigger and what's the action?
If anything walks basically onto the hex in front of Ragu or on his hex, then I will shoot. I'll just blast at it.
Okay. And Pico, what are you doing?
I guess. Well, let's see. The metallic insect swarms have an AC of 16 when they're active, right?
Yes.
I'm basically, if the door opens, I'm going to shoot at the most vulnerable looking target, which in order would be a swarm that hasn't taken flight yet, followed by a swarm that has taken flight, and if I can't see either of those, then I'm shooting the automata.
Okay. Fair enough. You hear a loud buzzing noise. Galen, what are you doing?
All right. Well, for holding actions, I'm gonna get a little risky with it. If an enemy enters my range, I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp.
All right. So at the beginning of round 2, you notice that the door opens up. You're pretty sure that these large form automata can't directly, use the handprints. So you're guessing that the virus has somehow corrupted the doors. And at this point in time, Galen, he's within your reach. So go ahead and do your thing.
Zap time. All right.
All right. And his health still isn't there for some reason. Okay, that's a hit.
All
Okay,
right, not
28
bad.
damage.
And then
All
I
right,
run away like a coward. One
you
second.
can't because that was a held action. You can either
Oh
do an
God.
action or move. So
That is the Pico method.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got you.
yeah, so Devok, he hasn't actually stepped out yet, so you don't have anything. Pico, you held an action. So the insect swarms behind are the most vulnerable, so probably this one, since it's in your line of sight.
Yep, I'll go ahead and shoot at Insect Swarm 7. And see, Cat Claws, that hits. Yay!
That's a hit, yep.
Slash R8D8. 34, yep. Median damage again.
And just so you know, it's still the automata's turn. I'm just getting the held actions out of the way before I finish it. All right, Ragu, what are you doing? Or sorry, did you had you had a held action, right?
I did.
Okay, go for it. Go for it. Okay,
Miss and a miss.
you that's certainly the case. And they controlled automata after being attacked so viciously by Galen is going to return the favor. So that is going to be with normal, 2 smashes, both of which hit. Is that correct, Galen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
so
boy.
you take 50 damage from that,
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
and then it fires its laser or its energy beam at Pico.
At disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, at disadvantage. And it misses. All right, so that is the automata's turn. Oh, and it finishes its movement by stepping forward. That's the automata's turn.
It's
It is
standing
now
on me.
standing over Galen.
That's so cruel.
All right, Ragu. You see the automata wiped out Galen easily. Tried to shoot at Pico and is now standing over Galen's unconscious corpse. Well, not yet a corpse, but that's is an unconscious body. So what are you going to do?
Apparently, I'm saying very loudly now. That's my friend.
Okay, the first
With
one.
227s to hit.
Oh yeah, that's true. It is flank. So you hit both times. Okay, so 12 and a 9, so that's 21.
And I'm going to sing spells.
You doing your bonus action, or is that the end of your turn?
I have a bonus action. All right, my bonus action. Crap. Do I do this like this? It's concentration. No, my bonus action is just the knuckles at this moment. Damn.
Okay, yeah, go for it. You hit. All right, 10 points.
Okay.
All right, is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, so the insect swarm is going to fly out, and you're the closest target, so it's going to attack. It's going to swarm Ragu. Just so everybody knows, it's on Ragu's space. And
Yeah, I'm
down,
shiny and metal. Come eat me.
And
Kick your
it
ass
is
too.
certainly going to try. Come on. And it fails miserably. All right, Davak, you can see that Galen is down and the automata is standing over his body. You can see that Ragu is swarmed. What are you going to do?
Let's see. I will use this spell that I haven't used in a long time.
Floating
summon-
hand,
Summon
melee
that.
attack, or be frightened.
This is a bonus action.
So, just so you know, you are pretty sure these things will be immune to being frightened, but they're not immune to the damage. You still want to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I mainly just want the damage right now.
All right. In that case, go ahead and make your attack roll. It's D20. I think it's plus your spell attack bonus.
So 1d20 plus 7. Okay.
That sounds right. That is
Alright.
not a hit, unfortunately. It has to be in a
And
free
then
space.
I'll,
So, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll just blast after that.
Okay, I'm going to assume it's here since that's the free spot that
Right.
he can hit from for now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the Eldritch Blasts are unable to get through his armor.
And my skeleton
What's your skeleton's orders?
to attack the automata.
Okay. He's in melee range, so he's going to use the sword.
Right. Oh my
Unfortunately, the
god.
sword just bounces off the automata. All right, Pico, you can see the effects of Devok's spell. You of course see Galen on the ground. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go ahead and attack Insect Swarm 7 again with the Kylon weapon. I mean, the turret. I guess that barely
It
hits.
does, yep.
Slash R, 88.
37 damage. Still there though, but it's at last less than half of the swarm left.
37 damage.
It does 8d8, so it could do up to 64 if I roll really high. The
8d8?
drawback, though, is I only get to use my my proficiency bonus for it, so my odds of hitting are actually kind of low.
He's using the turret from the wall. That's why the damage is so high.
Oh, I see.
And it's
Yeah.
connected by a cable, so he's limited in where he can take it.
All right,
Gotcha.
and with that out of the way, and after seeing one of those blasts zing past me, I am getting out of view, bringing the chair with me.
Fair enough. All right, so Swarm 7. It's going to go past Ragu, actually. Ragu,
Hey,
go
come
ahead.
back here, you stupid insects.
Go ahead and take your opportunity attack.
Alrighty. My opportunity attack, can I do what I did before and try a performance to... Oh, wait. I was only supposed to roll that once.
Yeah,
Still.
the opportunity attack is just an opportunity attack. You'd have to do that on your turn.
Yeah, sorry.
So the 25 would, 25 would hit. So go ahead and roll damage. All right, it takes 13. You smash a lot of the bugs as they're flying past, but they keep going. And it looks like they're going to swarm Devok. Less than half, but it fails to do any damage. These bugs are flying around you, trying to bite you, but they can't get through your armor, Devok. All right, Galen, go ahead and make your death save.
All right.
Oh, damn it, that's what I forgot. I was going to use a bonus action to bring you back up. I'm sorry.
Bonk. Uh-oh.
So
What?
that is a critical failure, so that counts as 2 death saves.
Okay, so I die next turn if I fail, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we're beginning round 3. The automata is going to step off of Galen's body.
Oh, please don't shoot
It
me or
doesn't
hurt
seem
me.
to recognize Galen as a threat anymore for some reason. So in that case, he is just going. Actually, he's not going to do that. He's actually going to step away from Ragu as well. Unfortunately, Ragu, you already took your opportunity attack, unfortunately, and is going to attack the skeleton.
Goodbye, skeleton.
Okay, so the skeleton is destroyed.
It's gone. Obliterated.
And then he is going to fire his beam at Pico.
No, he's not.
Why is that?
Can you
Pico's
see
around
me
the
from?
corner.
I think he can. He's around the corner. Let me double check. Let me see if you can see him. Okay, fair enough. So he's not going to do that. In that case, he's not going to fire his beam. All right, Ragu. You can see Galen is bleeding out. You are swarmed by insects. Devok is swarmed by insects, and Pico has gone around the corner. What are you going to do?
Save us.
I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff, Jeremy, and if I can't do it, just tell me that's okay. But I'm playing it a little thematic here. With one hand, I'm going to grab Galen by his scruff of his shirt, and with the other hand, I'm going to pour a potion down his throat.
Okay, so
And
that's basically grabbing Galen and using a potion on him. So that is probably going to be an action. Are you willing to spend an action?
and after I pour the potion down his throat, I need to place him here on the inside of the door so he's not in the way of getting blasted or beamed or anything. So
Okay.
pick him up, pour the potion, and poof, out to safety.
Okay, I'm going to say that's your turn, but you can do it.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll
And
potion
hold
for
on.
him.
I'm doing that right now. Okay, it's gonna be a okay.
And I noticed that there's 2 sets of bludgeoning on that smash attack. Does it actually like hit twice when it lands?
I don't know why it shows the 2 numbers like it's a crit. It's only the first number is the only one that hits, unless
Okay.
it's actually a crit. It's probably set to doing crits all the time or some nonsense. I'll have to check.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Galen,
that was my action. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically it was your action to do the potion thing, to pour it down his throat. It's probably a bonus action to move him out of the way. So, like I said, I think that's
Oh.
your turn.
Oh, okay. I didn't have a bonus action left. Then.
Yeah, because you had to do multiple things there. You had to pull out the potion, you had to grab him, you had to pour it down his throat, and then you had to move him. So yeah, I think that's it. Galen,
Well, with my size and strength, I figured moving him is just holding him off to the side and letting him go, kind of like how you would do with a cat.
yeah, but it's still a lot of individual actions. It's not hard for you, but
All
it's
right.
still actions.
Okay.
Galen, you're still
My
unconscious, but you can roll a save on your turn, but you don't have to make death saves, so you can clear those out. You're good now.
It's just a con
Can my
save, right?
Oh, go ahead, Drago.
is my free? Would it still be a free action to shut the door because I just realized he's
you can
still
do that.
within laser sight?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because he's still within laser sight now. He's not.
Yep, fair enough.
So I'm just. This is gonna be the most wild way to wake back up.
But
Well,
yeah, you're gonna
hey,
be all
you're
alone.
gonna be safe till you wake up.
Like,
You know
where did
exactly
I
where
go
we are on
this
the other side of the
time?
door.
And you'll
Why do
hear
I
combat.
keep
by the way.
waking up in different places?
All right, Ragu. While you're busy doing all that, the insect swarm is going to attempt to bite you again, or at least a lot of them are going to attempt to bite you, but they just can't get through your skin. And Devok, you are still swarmed. You saw everything Ragu did. You think Galen's probably safe now. What are you going to do?
I'll have the Shadow Grasp attack the automata again.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage for it. Or you got to do hit, right? So yeah, go ahead and roll the hit, and then we'll see if it does damage.
Yeah. Oh my! Please.
Okay.
That is.
And I run around the
Oh,
corner
God.
and I hide, because apparently I can't hit anything.
Fair enough. So let me move that guy. All right. Oh, I guess you get that attack of opportunity. I should do it. Less than half. Fortunately, it doesn't hit you. All right, Pico, you see Devok run around the corner and hide behind you. What are you going to do?
All right, I am going to peek out and. Damn it.
You do not see Galen anywhere.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to have to shoot at the metallic insect swarm, but I think I'm going to have to try to maximize my chances of actually landing something. Let me verify one thing here real quick.
Okay.
Just hex just adds an extra d6. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and cast, yes, a bonus action. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Hex on the metallic insect swarm, the one that's closest to me.
Okay.
And so let me go ahead and mark off a first level spell slot.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll do that. And then I am now going to go ahead and cast Eldritch Blast against the thing.
Sure.
So 1 and 2. Okay, good.
That first one's definitely a hit.
All right, so I'll go ahead and roll the damage, and
It's
on
done.
top. All right, that was definitely worth it. That is basically my whole round. I am also backing around the corner, a little more thoroughly this time.
Fair enough. All right, Galen, go ahead and make a Constitution save.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Okay, you wake up, find out that you're not dead after all, but you
Hmm.
notice that you're in this room by yourself, and the door is closed. So what do you do?
Okay. I assume I hear the horrifying sounds of battle outside.
Right.
Um,
You can open the door if you so wish.
Not quite yet. I think first I already used the healer's kit on myself, so I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself at let's say maybe level 2.
Okay. So that's your action.
Oh, that
So
was
you gain back, looks like 10 points.
not horrible, but not great.
You still have your bonus action and movement, and as a free action, you could open the door if you so wished.
Yeah, I don't think I want to open it just yet.
Okay. So is this
You
the end of your
can.
turn, or are you going to do something else?
Hmm.
You still have your movement, so you can open the door and then hide behind it
True,
or back in the
true.
corner.
Okay, I will open the door, and I think I'm gonna do that. So I'll open the door and then hide.
Okay. Fair enough. So at the beginning of round 4, the controlled automata decides to move to the north. One,
Can
two.
I do what I did before and yell and scream at it? Hey,
Uh,
you, fight me. I'm right here. I'm
you
tasty.
can on your turn.
Oh, okay.
All right. So he
It's too
steps
late because he
forward
moves.
and sees Pico, and you can tell that the way it's staring Pico at the weapon you have, the chair, that it has at least some sense of understanding of what that does. So at that point, let's see, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. These things move slow, so that's all its movement. So in this case, it just fires the beam at you because it's not close enough to punch you. And with a 14, that is not good enough to hit. But it comes it comes uncomfortably close to hitting the turret, and that's the end of its turn. All right,
Okay.
Ragu, now it's your turn. You're still swarmed. The automata walked away. You saw it fire a beam, but you didn't hear any sound from Pico or Devok. So what are you going to do?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. I am going to run up. Yes, it's going to be an opportunity attack.
Okay. Unlikely one, fortunately for you. But it hits.
I'll take it.
All right. So you take 9 piercing as the bugs bite into you as you run away, but you manage to escape the swarm. All right, what's next?
Okay. I'm going to swing hard at the automata.
Okay. You hit.
Now, that's a hit. Let me take off advantage because I shouldn't have that right now. But it's still a hit.
It's still
I'm
because we
going to
count the
stack
first
here.
one.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to stack here. So there's my attack.
Okay.
And then I'm going to roll my d8 for 5 more points of damage.
Okay.
And he needs to make a, wait a second, features.
He needs to make a what?
A DC 15 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Okay.
Please be knocked prone.
He somehow does not make it, despite his fairly extraordinary strength. So the large form automata slams into the ground, and is currently prone.
My second attack is going to be to grapple him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your. I think it's athletics.
Actually, can I do my bonus action and then my second attack?
Yeah, if you want.
All right, my bonus action is going to be casting Hex on him, and that would be on strength.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your athletics versus his strength. He has disadvantage on his roll. So he gets a 21, which you beat. So he is currently grappled. Is that the end of your turn?
Action, attack, bonus. Yep. I'm on the ground on him, keeping him pinned there.
Fair enough. Yeah, on his turn, he could attempt to break free, but until then, he's grappled.
Hold on. Now grapple,
He gets to
his
break 3
speed
at
is
a
just 0,
disadvantage.
right?
Yeah, his
Yep.
speed's 0 while he's grappled, yeah.
Are you able to restrain him
he's
too?
Yeah, that's what.
No,
I'm
restrain's
trying.
a different thing. I don't
But
think...
when he's knocked prone, his movement is 0. So he can't get up or
Yeah, he has to
spend
break
after
the
movement to get
grapple.
up.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, he has to break the grapple before he can move.
All right.
Yeah, because he's
but
on
but
his
that's
back.
still
I'm
not
holding
quite
on.
the same as the restrained condition, I believe. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
All right, so these guys, they saw Ragu, so they're actually going to go after Ragu. And actually, they're not going to go after Ragu. They seem to somehow be smart enough to know about each other. So in that case, they are going to look for a new target. They see Pico and Ragu. They're going to pick one randomly. They pick
I'm shiny.
Devok. I meant
I'm
Devok
tasty.
and Pico. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Me, I'm shiny and tasty.
No,
Come
they
look
seem to
at
be
me, you
avoiding
stupid
you,
bugs.
and you think they're avoiding you because you're on top of the automata.
Arg.
Right. So that, how much health does he have? Okay, he's full, so that's a full thing. All right, so they swarm you, Devok, and they bite into you. One of them burrows into your arm and it is sticking out the other side for 26 points of damage as they rip into you.
There's half my health gone.
And
Yeah,
now
me
it's your
too.
turn. You are swarmed, and they are literally tearing you up from the inside. Or at least one of them is.
I back away, I guess.
Okay.
Also, I'm realizing I haven't leveled up properly, so
Okay.
I am extremely weak right now. But
All right, you can handle that between sessions, but that's good to recognize. All right, go ahead.
we're back up. And I guess I shoot it with Eldritch Blasts,
Okay, go for it.
and one of those hit.
One of those hits, yep.
Great
For
damage.
8 points.
And
Alright,
then
so,
my Shadow Grasp, I attack it with Shadow Grasp as well.
okay. Go ahead and roll your damage, or your attacks. That's d20 plus your spell attack bonus. Alright.
Nope.
Damn.
Alright.
I feel completely useless right now.
Those dice hate you, man.
Sorry about that. Pico, it is now your turn. You see that Devok escaped the swarm, but not before taking a grave injury. So what are you going to do?
All right. One question I do have is that I'm debating on moving over here somewhere. Is it possible for me to get past that controlled automata without provoking an opportunity attack?
Yeah, the controlled automata, it has Ragu on top of him, so I would rule that there's no way for him to attack you at the time. Um, However, the swarm did not take its opportunity attack against a Vox, so you would get an attack from them.
Right. So what I'm going to do then is I am going to use my bonus action to transfer Hex over to the this swarm that's next to me.
Okay.
Having done that, I'm going to go ahead and attack with Booming Blade.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, which hits.
Okay.
So, okay. Where's the D8? So let's see, what is it? Round down with damage.
Yep.
So
So I already get it. So the 3 from that and 6 from the booming blade. Okay.
a 9. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Feline Agility and pull this weapon out of here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this should do.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that'll do it.
All right, Galen, you are conscious. You can hear the sound of battle seems to have progressed down the hallway away from you. So what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm gonna step out.
You see that Ragu is actually on top of the controlled automata and is attempting to pin it.
Huh. Okay. 1 second. 3, 4, 5, 6.
As you move forward, you can see an insect swarm that most of the swarm is still there, and behind the swarm you see Devok. You do not see Pico.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and actually make my way around the automata, and I'm gonna zap it from the back.
Okay, go for it.
I get advantage here, yes?
It's a melee attack against a prone figure, so yes, you do.
Okay, cool. Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, you go to zap it, but it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay, that's just gonna have to be my turn.
All right. So at the beginning of round 4, the automata, of course, is going to attempt to break free. It has disadvantage on its strength, so it has an 8, and this won't be hard for you, Ragu. But go ahead and make your athletics to contest. You have to get. Yeah, you're fine. So it is still prone. Unfortunately for it, it used its action, which means it doesn't get its multi-attack. So that's the end of its turn. All right, Ragu, what are you going to do?
All right. I'm very sorry, Galen. I I do not know what else exactly to do, but I'm gonna do it. I'm going to cast Web.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and get a 20-foot cube. I would like to cast it from, to hit the insect swarm and come back so it doesn't hit Devok, but it will probably encase me and the automata, and I think Galen.
Yeah, so let's see. A 20-foot cube. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, yeah, you'll basically get you, Galen, the automata, the insect swarm, all in web. Devok and Pico are fine.
Okay, so
Sorry,
what does
Galen.
what does the web
A creature is
do?
restrained. Okay, so let's see. Conjure a thick web. The webs are difficult terrain. Okay, it's anchored, so don't worry about that. Each creature that starts its turn in the webs or enters them during its turn must make a dexterity saving throw. On a
Mm-hmm.
failed save, the creature is restrained as long as it remains in the webs or breaks free. And if you're restrained, you can take your action to make a strength check against the spell save DC to no longer be restrained. And then there's some stuff about flammability and whatnot we'll worry about later. So
Okay.
that means that at the beginning of your turn, you'll have to make the save. What is your spell save DC, Regu?
My spell save DC is coming up. 16.
Okay, so that's the DC you'll have to make uh, to avoid being in there. So you have the strength save versus DC 16 strength save to avoid being caught. If you are
Uh-huh.
caught, you can take an action to fake a DC 16 strength save to break free. Sorry, the first one should have been a dex save. The second one's a strength save.
Yeah.
But that's on your turn.
To be honest, I really just wanted to get the swarm so that it couldn't move and swarm other people, and you could take it out at distance. But I was gonna hit me anyway. Sorry, you're in the way.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Even if I do get restrained, I should. Is it like taking away my whole action, or would I
Yeah,
still
you
be able
can't
to attack with
attack or
Tommy?
anything.
Oh, damn.
The only
Okay,
thing
never
you can
mind.
do is try to break free.
Okay.
All right, Ragu, you cast a spell. It's technically not the beginning of your turn, so you don't have to roll for this stuff yet. So, what else are you going to do, if anything?
Well, that was a spell, so I can't bonus action attack.
Right.
I'm gonna keep my hex on the automata, and I was actually just gonna lie there and keep hitting it.
Okay. So
I know
yes.
I'm restrained in the web, but I can still attack and hit it because it's right on top. I'm on
Well,
top.
we'll see what you
That'll
can
be
do when it's your turn again. But so
next.
far, you're not restrained.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. So the insect's going to make the DC 16 dexterity save to see if it's restrained. Which okay, come on. Just tell me if it made it or not. All right. I will do it manually. Okay, it did not make it, so it is restrained, which means that the only thing it can do is take its action to try to break free, which will be a DC 16 strength check. Which
Is that strength check at disadvantage because of Pico's hex?
Okay. Okay, fair enough. It definitely does not succeed. It gets 1. And that's its turn. All right, Devok. The insect swarm is restrained, which means you can kind of see the whole group of insects kind of stuck in the web trying to move, which means you get advantage if you want to attack.
I feel a good
Finally.
roll coming up. Good roll.
Yeah. 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Those
Dear
both
God.
hit.
Okay.
And they both would have missed if not for that.
Yep. And then the other one, but okay, I get to roll twice though. So
Yeah, that hits as well. You can roll for it again just in case it's a crit. Okay.
Damn.
So
Oh
everything
my
hits.
God.
Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast number 2.
So that's 10. And then whatever the damage is for your spell.
I think that's 1d12, so another 6.
All right. So yeah, that's definitely good. Is there anything else on your turn? You can move and bonus action.
Not
If you
as of
have
right now, no.
Okay. All right, Pico. You can you hear the sounds of combat. What are you gonna do?
All right, I guess as I come around the corner, the first thing I'm going to see is, I guess that insect swarm is buried in webs.
Yep, you see that. Yeah, you see webs all over the place, and yeah, the insect swarm is buried. You too have advantage because it's restrained.
All right, well, I am going to go ahead and fire this weapon at advantage.
Oh, God.
And, all right.
That's a hit.
So, /R, 8, wait, hold on. R8D8 plus, I'm going to roll a D6 separately first. Okay, plus 5. Oh, I probably could have typed 8d8 plus 1d6, whatever. So,
It's dead.
holy
fuck.
It's gone. It had
Oh
60
my
hit points.
God.
You're done.
What?
He
Way
just
to
he
go.
disappeared it.
Clutch move.
He banished it to the shadow realm. It's
All right, is that the end of your
gone.
turn?
Not just yet. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now that I know where that thing is, I'll park right here.
All
I
right,
have a
Galen.
really bad question to ask.
Okay, what's that?
Is that turret's laser force damage?
Oh, it is actually fire damage. You actually got a point. Let's look that up.
Oh no.
That's
Thanks
okay.
for
It's going to be
reminding me.
2d4. It's going to be 2d4 damage, and it takes a whole round to burn away the web, so you might
All
be
right.
able to get
Any
out, and if you're
5-foot
not, it's only
explosive fire
damage.
burns away in one round, dealing 2d4 damage to any creature that turn on fire. Okay, so yeah, so that is true. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, I think it was spread across the whole thing, so it's still there.
Oh,
So, oh, good.
yeah, I was going to say it spreads across the whole thing, but Galen should still have an attempt to escape the web before the fire gets to him, I think.
Um,
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. So the webs
Because
are
it takes a whole
flammable,
round to burn.
oh wait,
but it says a 5-foot, any 5-foot cube of webs exposed to fire burns away in one round. So this would be the hex specifically where the thing was hit.
oh, it does say that.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I guess
Okay. So
oddly
we
that
just
means
had to
that it
figure that
doesn't
out.
spread. I
Okay.
guess.
We just needed to figure that out because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I guess that would mean it doesn't spread. So it does burn away that hex. It does 2d4 damage to the floor. We don't care about that. So that means, Galen, you're stuck making your deck save. DC 16.
I'm gonna flounder around uselessly.
I think
Yep.
it's a.
So you are restrained, and you can on your turn you can spend an action to attempt to break free, which is a strength check with a DC 16.
Okay.
Strength save. Strength save.
Is it
Or is
Yeah.
it a
save
check?
or check? I think it's check because he's actually doing it. Let me check it again.
Okay.
I don't think it
Sorry
matters.
that I don't
It
know
is a
my
strength
spells
check,
as well as
yes.
I should.
It actually
Because yeah, if
doesn't
it's
matter.
a save, if it's happening to you, if you're doing it, it's a check.
Okay. Either one is the same for me, but yeah, there
Okay,
we go.
so you attempt to break free. You are still restrained. So I believe that's all you can
Yeah,
do.
that's it. I'm stuck.
Let's put a marker
Sorry.
so we know. All right, Ragu, were you saying something?
No, I'm just saying sorry I don't know my spells as well as I should.
Oh, no problem. As you know, it's not like anybody's used that this campaign yet, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, I've used it
Okay,
once when I was cornered.
let me go ahead and make a dex save for him just to see if he's also restrained by the web.
Can he deck save being grappled?
I think so, but I think he's going to have disadvantage. Doesn't matter. He's restrained. Okay, fair enough. So he's restrained by the web, and you're also on him. He's going to do the only thing he can and attempt to break free of the web. Actually, you're on him, so he's grappled. I'll give him disadvantage.
Oh, he's gonna have. Yeah, I was gonna say he's has a disadvantage
Okay,
anyway
he
from my
fails.
hex.
All right, Ragu, go ahead and make your deck save. DC 16.
Okay.
So you are also restrained. You're on top of that guy.
Now,
Go ahead.
if I'm restrained, I can't physically attack him, right?
That's right. If you're grappled, you can attack. If you're restrained, you can't.
Can I use my reaction on my own spell?
What do you mean by your reaction?
What are you trying to
Plus
do?
4 to my saving throw, so I'm not restrained.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, it says fail a saving throw. I think that's what you failed.
So, okay, you
Yep.
succeed at your dex saving throw, which means that you are not restrained. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to attack the shit out of this guy on the ground.
Go for it.
Do I have to hold back one action to stay grappled and then just do my regular attack?
Well, he's currently restrained by the web. So you would if you wanted to keep him grappled, but you don't have to because he's already restrained. So you don't have to do anything.
Ah, in that case, ha 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 ha. Hit, hit,
Ooh.
There you go.
hit.
You hit with everything. 26, 36. I feel like you're missing a roll. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
Yeah,
pounding
my,
into him, and he's restrained.
Yep.
All right, is that the end of your
Yeah,
turn?
piercing and bludgeoning. That was sword, and knuckles. Yeah, yep, that's everything.
Cool. All right, Devak. The controlled automata is currently restrained, which means that any attacks you want to make on them, you have advantage.
Thank God, because apparently I need it to hit anything. So weird. And then
Go ahead and roll that one again. Okay.
there we
So you
go.
hit with everything. All right, so 15 and another 10. So it's still alive, but not by much. All right, Pico. You can see that the automata is restrained and almost destroyed. What are you going to do?
Bonus action to move Hex onto it, and I am going to fire Eldritch Blast.
Hit. You have advantage.
Let's see.
You have
This is your
advantage,
first Eldritch
so you
Blast
can
hit.
re-roll that first one at the very least.
Okay. Okay, that hit. So, oh, hold on. Actually, then that's
You also get 2d6.
So 11 points of damage on
Necrotic.
top of the 5, so
What's the 11
16.
from? Oh, because they've
The
the
hex.
hex.
Each
Hex.
hit that lands does
Okay, fair enough.
hex
You
damage.
destroyed it. All right, so the automata stops moving. After a while, the spell web will go away. So
I
we're going to go ahead and
dispel it.
end combat. And
Okay.
eventually, you're free, Galen.
Yay! Thanks, guys.
Yep, sorry about the web.
No, it happens. Seems like it really helped out, so I don't really mind. However, there are a lot of us who are very hurt. I seem to remember that earlier on we found a couple of those medical beds. If we want to go back to those medical beds, I could spend a little while and heal everybody up.
That could be
Bad
cool.
idea.
Just 'cause like we're all pretty messed up. Well, besides you, Ragu, you're doing all right.
All right. Do you remember where those are?
Oh, let me look at the
Back where
map.
your two
Goodness.
less than living friends were.
Yeah, it was in. Maybe you remember Pico. I think it was in the living quarters or like Area B.
I don't remember much, but yeah, if you didn't see them in this session, then yeah, it would have had to have been something earlier like
Yeah.
that.
Well, let's go back to that soothing room with the 3 computers and the 1 AI that's going kind of apeshit, and then go straight up 1 room from there.
We can go there, but I don't think those ones were the healing pods. I think that was specifically called out that way. We can go check on it
those
though.
were the cryogenic pods. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I think it was in the living quarters. I'm not certain though. Either Area B or the living quarters, I think. I remember it was like a long.
Yeah, we can definitely go back to
Maybe it
that.
was by the
Well, it's
entrance. Oh,
easy
I
to
don't
try because
remember.
we just go down in the elevator to hub access, go south where the caretaker AI is, and keep going towards the entrance. And then
Sure.
there was an entry to Area A, which took us to living quarters. So
We
yeah, let's just go
also,
ahead.
yeah, we also might just be able to ask the hub access AI, be like, hey, where are the medical beds at? But yeah, I think it's either, yeah,
Yeah, so I guess stack up and go to the first floor.
yeah, let's do that.
All right, I'll stack up on Ragu or Galen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'll go ahead and assume you go through the hub access. So let me move you guys. Oh, did I not move you guys? I did not. All right. So everybody should see the map. You've just come down the elevator. So where do you go to next?
I guess we'll
Okay.
go south to the There's Ire. Galen should recognize this spot.
Mm-hmm.
And from here, yeah, if we're gonna check the living quarters, we're gonna want to go down to the entrance. I'm pretty sure. What was it, the second room? Yeah, over here where Piff's icon is. I think it
Hey,
was the.
caretaker, where are the healing pods?
Accessing. Unknown. Cannot access files.
Yeah,
Damn it.
that's fine.
Okay, let's just follow.
All right. So you're gonna go down in here. Okay. So everybody stack up, and you go down. Doo-doo-doo. I forget. Is Piff still alive?
Piff is still
Yes,
alive. We
because
were
we used
leaving them
Piff.
there.
Yeah, we used Piff to test something, and oh geez, what was it? In the control center, I think, and Galen was able to pull Piff back in time to avoid getting shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I just haven't had Piff with me for the fights. Probably would have been useful, but they probably would have died pretty fast.
Okay, so based on where we are, we're going to want to go left. That's the living quarters, which are looking pretty darn homogeneous. You could go check that security area, but you have to go by yourself, which kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. God, I do not remember where those beds were.
Yeah, I do remember they were in a clean section, not all chewed up like this, like the personnel section. So it might
Yeah.
have been to the
Well,
left of the caretaker room.
Galen, why don't you check security control just in case?
Okay.
Actually, we can do the really cheaty way to do it.
What's that?
Jeremy, can I make a history check to see if I remember where it is?
Um.
Hmm.
Actually, go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead. You can make a history check.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. That was a real cheaty way to do it, but
Yeah, it's fine. If you fail, we can just keep looking too. It's not a big deal.
yeah. See, normal, not advantage.
Yeah.
No, I
You
Alright.
don't
have no
remember
idea.
where.
It's been a while. You've
Alright.
been fighting a lot and going through a lot. A lot of the corridors look the same. You have no clue.
Okay.
And well, we could try and go into. Well, did you check security control yet, Galen? Because it's to the right.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll check it right now. Traffic is being weird. Hello, boys.
They seem to be motionless at the moment.
Okay. No.
It was a clean section. It was blue
Oh,
rooms.
there they are. Yeah, these are all healing beds, aren't they?
Yep.
Okay, and yeah, you disabled the security in that area, if I recall
I
correctly.
did, but we also got you guys access, I think,
Yeah.
right?
So we should be allowed to go in there as well.
Should be.
Lead the way, Ragu.
Okay, I'll
The
take a
last
step
time
back.
I
So
led the way, it didn't go well for me.
actually, Jeremy, can you go ahead and move me? My roll 20 is locked.
Okay.
I'll refresh it. But yeah, I'll just go up to the door and I'll poke my hand in,
Yeah, nothing happens.
take my hand out, stick my head in. Nothing.
Yep, you do
Step
so. Nothing's moving.
All right,
Alright,
let's go.
guys, come on in. This room has 2. The room next to me also has 2.
I have an
So,
Alright.
idea.
Galen, from what you
How's about
remember, you know how to work the controls.
Mm-hmm.
It takes you a few minutes on each to set it up, but it takes an hour for the healing to happen.
Yeah,
I
can
have
I
an
set
idea
up?
here, Phyllis.
Yeah, what's up?
You're gonna go look for trouble while the rest of us are healing? It's a bad
No.
idea last time, too.
No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay attention, and Galen is going to teach me what buttons to press as we put Davak and Pico into the first pods. Then we'll wait an hour, and after that, I'll be able to put Galen in a pod.
Oh,
Why
I
would you
think
wait an hour for that? These things work automatically.
yeah, I was gonna say even I think I can just set it up for myself and
You
then
can,
just
yeah.
lay down in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they're
okay. In
pretty.
that case, yeah, we'll do that, and we'll all lay down for an hour.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
it just heal hit points, or does it restore short rest
Yeah,
abilities?
it just heals
It's
hit points.
just yeah, it's just health. So
In
yeah,
that
everybody get
case,
into bed.
okay. In that case, instead of hit points, because I'm only missing 4, or sorry, 9 points. Either way, I'm only missing a few. Can I spend this hour taking a hit dice to restore my short rest abilities?
Yeah, of course. You have every 10 minutes. It's at 10 minutes per hit dice, so you have plenty of time to do that.
Okay. And I believe I can take an hour with 1 hit dice and restore a short rest thing like my superiority
Yeah,
points.
I believe you can spend
Okay.
1 to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Yep. No problem.
And if I have any left of that hour, I'd like to re-summon Char, but that's separate.
No, you're going to be busy doing the hour to do that, so you'd have to spend another
Okay.
hour to do the chart thing.
Well, I'll do the superiority points.
Of course, you can just ask everybody if you want to spend 2 hours instead of 1.
I'll do that when they get up.
All right. In that case, everybody, you sit in you sit in the pods. You get healed up. So go ahead and fix up your hit points. And I think that's where we'll end the session. So let me set up your experience points.
If that's where we're ending the session, since it's a little early, can I go ahead and spend another hour, fellas?
Sure.
Okay.
All
so
right.
I'll ritual summon Char.
Oh wait, sorry.
I'll
Wait,
ritual
what'd
summon
you say?
He
I
wants to
think I
spend
might have
2 hours
misunderstood.
of resting instead of 1 so he can bring back his familiar.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'll ritual cast to bring back Char, and I'll get my my superiority dice reset for the cost of a hit die.
Okay, I'm gonna assume everybody here got your learning by failure, but due to the combats, certainly Devok did.
Oh, and I did too.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's your experience. So 1,750, 1,050 from encounters, and 700 from clues and exploration. And everybody gets learning by failure, of course.